because it's not really noticing.
Right.
And we are live for our
Nice.
millions of adoring fans, or our dozens of sleepy fans, depending if you're in America or England or some parts of the world. It's like early in the morning, and you're like, "Wow, they're early streaming." Well, no, it's late for Sam's anyway. Am I actually live?
Right.
Am I nonsensing? Let's check.
Oh, we're live.
We're live with 34 watching.
Audio sync in 3, 2, 1.
Audio sync. 3, 2. Did that help, audience? Do you feel synced right now?
The synchronicity.
Yes.
5:01 and no, Foley, I'm unsubscribing. You're what, Thomas Potts? To us? Well, that sucks. So synced, they say.
Because that's
Like
how
we're
it
so
works.
synced.
We're like NSYNC,
Yes.
but cooler. That's what they mean, right?
Yes, because it takes 5 of them to be in sync. It only takes 2 of us.
There we go. Although this episode, we don't think we are in sync. See? Brought it
Oh,
back
we're
around.
not, because we don't agree with
Yeah.
the
But
diagnosis.
that'll be fun, because we most of the time do. Sometimes don't. It's interesting when we don't, because we each have perspectives. I know that last season, like, you had a whole lot of things that you didn't like one episode. I was like, oh yeah, I don't like it much. And same thing. I had a few that I was like, but all the stuff links together, and you're like, oh yeah. Like last episode, there's some dialogue that you completely missed, and I was like, no, it explains it. You're like, oh, nice. So, all relative.
Yeah.
So,
Joseph Patrick, as always, puts in €2.
There you go.
He says, Samuel, that's for you. Thanks for agreeing with him on Facebook.
You're welcome, Joseph.
And we're syncing better than the Titanic. That's funny.
Oh,
One person said it was their first live. I missed their name, though.
And while you find that, great comment. Damon EXO. I swear, Foley and Samuel seem to be the only ones using screens.
Ha! Ha ha ha! Old Soup Legs is his first chat here. So welcome. And yes, we prefer the old-fashioned, non-holographic. They can be hacked too easily, So we do this.
Adam Boots, was that a reference to Gods and Men and Temporal Anomaly? It was indeed. It wasn't subtle, but if you hadn't seen it, you wouldn't know the reference. We should definitely...
Okay, I didn't get the reference to Gods and Men, that's for sure.
Oh, it's right at the end. When you talk about the next holo program, the next adventure. He literally just gives a plot of Gods and Men. It's literally the plot. It's like, but I like a Gods and Men. I think it's a fun story. It's not. Yeah, I don't mention characters or anything, but I don't know. But yes,
good to know.
I have to do a temporal anomaly thing at some point because thanks,
Mike. It was my idea.
What, temporal anomaly? What?
To do a temporal anomaly live stream talking about it, and maybe even a commentary track where we watch it and we won't get hit by the creator of it because I hear he is a bit of an asshole, but I'm sure he'll be fine with us showing it.
Hopefully, yes. He is a sucker for views. Yeah, no, that would be nice to do at some point, and it would be fun to come onto the Blu-ray and put lots of commentary tracks, pure different perspectives. It'd be fun to do like just a you one and do an us one and put that in. It'd be fun.
Are you gonna share this around so I can vamp for a second?
If you want. Okay, Stuart. I will
do it. Do it.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
David Bessick puts in $2 and says, Commander, your father did a great job in Temporal Anomaly. Yes.
I will let him know. Thanks, David.
Indeed. And I got to start this one off by saying, I don't know if anybody noticed, but when it said previously on Discovery, it was said in Klingon with English subtitle.
Yeah. Was it the first Klingon reappearance? So it made it's a nice little. There's also nice little touches in this episode.
I thought that was quite amusing. Yes.
And then when they sorry, you were vamping, but when Laurel swaps languages at the end to she's speaking English, her subtitles turn to Klingon, just in case the Klingons in the audience don't know how to. Like, that's such a small little. It's fun, dumb fun,
Yeah. Oh, Jeff Jacobs. Hi guys, sorry I'm late. Well, you should be. You're fired. Get out of here, Jeff. Just kidding. No, yeah. Hey guys, talking about why Pike is using the Star Discovery uniform. Maybe it's the captain's decision, discretion to where uniforms are used, and Pike felt like he was the one who needed to fit in. I could go with that. It's a good callback to one of our other videos. Thank you.
Yeah, just, those new uniforms are better. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's I don't think many people can agree they don't look better. So, yeah.
Fired from a cannon, sir? Yes. Orville is delightful, and Star Trek Discovery is a bad joke. Ugh. Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna touch on Orville. We're gonna do some Orville reviews. We just, as we said, the numbers weren't there for what we were doing with it, and we will kind of do a live talking about the episodes in general. I think because Orville's been pretty good this year, or this season. Jill says, I like this episode even more than the premiere, finding it much more rewatchable. That's good. Very good to hear. There was so much wrong with this episode.
Well, as we go through it, don't hold back, Stuart, because I didn't, Well, it's funny how I remember when we did one of the smaller videos, all my little nitpicks of last week, you were like, yeah, but that's not really a thing. That's not really a thing. So I wonder how many of this time were like, yeah, but here's a reason, and here's a reason. Again, throw them all at me. I'm interested to counter like you did.
I will.
Like you did last week with me. Be
Both
fun.
barrels are loaded.
Okay. Be fun.
Minis, Models, and Mayhem puts in £2 and said, hey guys, a little late, but I enjoyed the episode. Cool.
So did I.
100 people have yet to hit like. That's a very good point, Jeff Jacobs. 117 people showing on my screen. So if everybody just goes and hits like, that'd be much appreciated. It takes all about 3 seconds to hit the like button. Hi all, I am not watching Discovery, just want to support Trekyards. Well, thank you, Squadra Course. Much appreciated. Sorry, we kind of have to cover this. And we enjoy doing it, so why not?
It's definitely fun to hang out with you, Stuart. There's no insult. That was the infamous. That was my.
Jay the dog. Yeah, it's fun to hang out with you as well. And these people.
Thanks,
as well.
man.
Jay the
like
dog 84 says.
Got blood out of stone there. Thanks, man.
For the people saying Spock is a killer now, no, he didn't.
Oh.
Spock didn't kill anyone. Yeah, I know.
I hate that. It's like the same thing as people saying, "Oh, Burnham said one thing, therefore, obviously they're in a relationship." It's like, they wouldn't write that. He didn't actually kill them. They didn't write that. Wait for it. It's a build up. People are so reactionary. I hate it. It's like, just stop, think.
Take a breath.
Like they know the pressure of Spock, and we've seen little teasers of him, and he doesn't look like much more than just slightly more emotional. So obviously he's got better than where he is in the hospital. Like there's a journey for the character. But to be fair though, just like, I mean, they probably knew they're going to get controversy, so they could just use that controversy to get more views. Although then again, if the views are bad, it's a weird thing, because they will lose people with bad shows, but especially if it takes a long time to get to it. I know that one other channel said it would have been better if they'd released it all one season, like just the season. And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But I quite enjoy obviously great for the channel if it's week by week. But no, I like it.
Yeah, it's easier to break down because when you watch episodes back to back, things get lost in the wash, kind of thing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, at least like season 1, they're all very distinct because they have to be to watch them.
There's a lot of subtleties though, and things that happen. You're like, I forget which episode that was, because I did that on our rewatch. I watched like 2 or 3 back to back, and then when you were talking about them, I'm like,
which one was that?
Remember what happened in which one? Yeah. Thomas Potts puts in $10.
Oh wow, thank you,
Hope
Thomas.
You are both doing well.
Pretty good.
I don't have a problem with Klingons speaking Klingon amongst themselves. I just want real Klingon sounding or language. Pike is the only good character on Discovery.
Do you have a problem with Klingons speaking Klingons amongst themselves?
Not really.
I mean, they've done that in other shows.
No.
They swap. I mean, remember what we're seeing is like a perception of the world. Like everyone's universal translating to everyone. That's kind of the point. So no one's speaking. You know what I mean? So it's it's like why would the people on that Terra Earth, Why weren't they American sounding and then 200 years of new accents? Why didn't they have a new alien accent? You know, a different twang from a different planet? Well, because they're not. They just hired Americans. But they should sound different 200 years in different different planet. Or should they look different? So 200 years of generations, you know what I mean? So that's one of those classic conceits. So I was fine. And it's like, you know, when you talk in English, which is better than talking in Klingon, and then you insult in Klingon, it's fun. It's fine, you know. Standard stuff. Yeah.
So we're gonna break it down scene by scene and not kind of jump all over the place like we did in our other review. But Joseph Petrick puts in €2 and says, "I think Section 31 pulled Spock and framed him." I totally buy that.
Yep.
That's kind of the thing that was on my mind.
I mean, that's the thing. You know? If Section 31 are in the show this heavily,
31 pulled Spock,
that really changes the paradigm of who does what does when. You know, it's all a game. It's all a plan, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's start off at the beginning, shall we?
The start of this journey.
So it starts out with Burnham not being able to figure something out. My God. And the first words out of my mouth were, "You're not perfect, Burnham." But the whole "I can't see what Spock saw," it kind of bugged me a little bit. But anyway, that quickly
Well, no, hold on. My first thought was what a brilliant intro shot. Is that you see the Vulcan ship flying, which is is coming. That cuts into it. There's such a cool visual. Like, it makes no sense, but it's a nice visual shot. That's just a cool way to begin. You know, we said last year, there's so few ship shots. So yeah, there's just a nice ship establishing. It was great. I was like, that was a really nice intro to have, and it pulls directly in from last episode. And yeah, I thought it was a great little intro. Yeah. And she's just trying to learn stuff. It's fine. Although the next shot, next actual picture I have, why on earth are the windows blown out with white? Multiple times this episode, there's just windows just white.
I noticed that. I'm like, are you in front of a sun? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I know in Pike and his captain's quarters you have this lovely orange hue, and that I can buy as direct sunlight. But I don't. I mean, why is it white? I mean, there's lots of teeny visual things I don't like about this episode. It's more the whole I like. But this whole scene, because instantly I thought the fact that it transitioned so well from a shot to a shot, I thought, oh, she's in a fictitious dream. She's going to see Spock and walk up to him and say, "Spock, what did you see?" And he's like, "Burnham, I hate you," and punch it. Like some weird hypo dream. And I know it's just them running around the ship and everything goes dark and there's light outside. It's like, what is this scene? What?
Yeah. Jackal puts in £5.
Oh, thank you.
New episode was hit and miss. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Discovery Klingons are still horrible. Don't mind Tilly's stuff, but it was a little underdeveloped and badly paced. I know it was badly paced because, like I said, at the end I was expecting more. It didn't seem like the whole time had passed, so I was always beat for beat. But then it seemed cluttered and jumbled and kind of disjointed to me a little bit.
If you took out the Tilly stuff and put that time towards the other two, it would have been fine, I think. Because you got almost enough of everything, but not quite enough of everything.
Yeah.
But because it was 49 minutes and not 44 like last year, there's extra 5 minutes. Whereas last year when the Klingon stuff happened, it was so like, we got 7 minutes of Klingons and 32 of but there was at least time for everyone. But certainly I think probably a few too many storylines. But that's them building stuff up. I mean, you have to show stuff. It's like you didn't need the whole the stuff. I mean, we'll get to it in a minute, but when it like suddenly cut to the Saru scene, you know, him on the bridge doing this speech to the crew saying, "Look, we're gonna shadow people." It's like, what is this scene? Like, we don't care about Tilly's engineering command program. It's so unimportant in the grand scheme. It doesn't matter. Like, doesn't. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. John Harrison puts in £5.
Thank you.
Hello, gentlemen. An idea for your Orville is a prequel to Andromeda, maybe. Just saying. Ooh.
I mean, I haven't seen the next episode, if that's a reference to anything. But I mean, Andromeda takes place before Orville in the continuity of years to Earth. So I don't think so. But, you know, because Orville's like 25th century. I think Andromeda's like 23rd.
Got another 200 rubles as well. I felt as if half of the episode happened before episode 2 and the other half after.
That's interesting.
I mean, the Klingon stuff could have transpired at any time, really.
But the Vox stuff...
They needed time to grow their hair back, don't you know?
It's probably just a drug that does it. I mean, they have wars so often, you know. No,
if you haven't seen the next Orville episode, they can stimulate the hair follicles. Oh my God, you'll understand when you see it.
I look forward to it. Although I think it needs to be as far away from last season as possible to make the Vok confusion be more palpable. Like, he has to have done a really fair shot at trying to be the guy that everyone respects, and has to have you can't have done that in 2 weeks. I got the sense it was like 2 or 3 months. Because Pike seems very comfortable now. I don't get the sense it was like several days. I felt that it was already been quite a while. That's just me. But yeah, so the running scene, let's cut straight to Tilly. And sorry, I've done that a few times actually. And this is all just because they built more corridor, so they're using more corridor. What do you think of this whole sequence? Because this goes on for quite a while.
Okay.
I've got a lot of pictures, so yeah.
I'm just going to talk about this quick scene, and then I'll get all my points out, and then we can dive in. Training for doing a half marathon training thing for the command training program, not a problem. I mean, I understand that physical activity, but Tilly has time to stop at an intersection and talk to her imaginary friend for what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then catch up to everybody who continued to run. Now, I thought in my mind, obviously this person's in her head. So did she actually stop to have this conversation, or was she having this conversation while she was running? It would have made more sense to have the other lady running beside her. Yes. Because this is unbelievable that she storms ahead and like just plows through everybody and beats her own time and everyone else after taking time out.
If you can beat your own time with a 2 minute pause, your time is crap. And they're really bad people running next to you. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, yeah.
Although you could make
Minis, Models, and Mayhems.
No, jump in.
Puts in another 2 pounds.
Thank you.
I don't see why Spock would have shadowed Burnham.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get. Yeah, that's something we're going to talk about.
But I can talk about that. That's fine. Now it's interesting because I think you could. It would, like, the sport in her could make her faster. That would have been a nice touch if she'd like absolutely smashed her record and it was like, what? Yeah, because she's got this other organism. Small thing. Although May did say that she was helping her. Yeah. I helped you a few times in this episode. So that could be like, I didn't get that sense though. Neither
personally,
did I.
But now that you've said that, it could be the case. It could.
It's a stretch.
Up to adrenaline or something.
That's true. That's an easy one. Just adrenaline. If you look at the stream now, Stuart, did you notice they actually updated the disco? Picked the disco shirts with logos. Half cut logos.
That's my next note actually. Brand new Discovery shirt that I gotta buy if you want a Discovery shirt, because I've got one of the original ones, and I don't like the new logo. It looks too marketing. It looks too from StarTrek.com.
Yep, and it's also like to capitalize on that split. Like, that split doesn't mean anything. What does it mean? It's the only thing it links to is the section 31. Like, I know the main badge has a split, but there's no reason for that split except possibly legal issues. It's like, well, it doesn't look good or mean the thing. I don't know.
They have the split there because it's a different ship, and that was their way to say it. We have still the Delta, but it's a different ship, so it's got a split in it. It's different, visually different, because all the ships are visually different.
Oh, really? Didn't the people on Earth have the split badges?
Oh, I'm sure they did. But I think that was maybe I don't know. Sean Pullen puts in $5 Canadian.
Thank you.
Long-time watcher, figured time to support. Well, thank you very much, Sean. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And
but I have a comment I want to because I mean we I think it's fair to say we know a lot about Trek, and so easy things to comment on are easy to fix. And so Schnick, why are they running around the ship? Don't they have a gym? If the next had a gym, running around the ship seems like a hazard. I mean, they do that in Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Tuvok takes them around.
And it makes sense because to be familiar with your ship in that time of an emergency. I mean, you could use a holodeck, but they don't have holodecks here. They have like a firing range. So I don't have any issue with this actually.
None at all. No, it's fine.
Rive Law, I banned Rock YouTube, puts in €2 and says, I like Stamets, but he is super underused in season 2. I totally 100% agree with you. but we'll get to that when we get to the Stamets part.
But he has so little use. I mean, they basically made him a redundant character until the bigger plot, which is fine. Like, give time to other people. Like, Tilly's getting all the extra time, basically. But yeah, this run around is weird. Although I think, Stuart, this is very much like the fact that she can have a conversation for 2 minutes. I think it's basically the same thing that you had a problem with, or I had a problem with that you didn't care about necessarily at the start of season 2 or the end of season 1, where they walk away from Earth, and it's implied 5 seconds passed, probably more time. So this is one of the same time things where probably hours passed, but it's shown as, or sorry, no time passed for them, but it looked like 2 minutes. So neither work, but
it did show her catching up though and running behind them all.
Yeah.
But
you can tell those guys know the officers because they let Tilly beat them.
Yeah. Austin Vieira puts in $2 Canadian with no comment, but thank you very much appreciated.
And what do you think of how obviously we jump? I mean, we talked about the little problems with it, but the fact that we're jumping right into Tilly's woman hallucination thing. That's the starting point of this episode, really. How do you think that plot was like? Did you care? Were you invested? Because we know that was our little bit of lead-in from last time. Were you even engaged with that plot?
Not really. Like you said, that plot should have been taken out of this episode and put in another episode with only 2 plot points instead of like 3 major ones. Because like I said, it felt kind of crammed in. And the ending was very quickly resolved, although not really resolved because we're going to see that creature again, the Venom creature, because we've seen it in the trailers for season 2.
Yeah, well, it was more just like the episode stops. Actually, in several ways. Now you've said that, actually, yeah. I also felt that Burnham, when Burnham comes to talk to Tilly, it's like Burnham's everywhere.
Well, yeah.
It's like, I mean, just why can't it be one of the bridge officers? You know, Burnham's got a lot of cool stuff. Like, how it be focused? You know, small thing, but it's just like it's always Burnham. And then we get this bridge sequence where we have this lovely pan around of the entire bridge and then background. Everyone gets 2 lines each. Doesn't mean much, but it's a lovely, like, we've got a bridge crew, guys. Not going to see him again the entire episode, but we've got a bridge crew.
You get a line, you get a line, you get a line.
And everyone should always look backwards because you can't just, sir, it's like, sir, it's happening. I can't see my controls anymore, but sir, it's like.
Have you seen the size of the bridge? They have to do that in order for the captain to hear them. It's not like the TOS size bridge where everything's like confined. This is like a gymnasium.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, diplomatic vessel shows up. It's Eric's ship. Well.
They are spoiling a few too many things because the Manda thing would have been cool if we didn't know, and especially the
Gareth. There's your line. Gareth wanted a line because I was handing out lines.
I did think the Giorgio reveal was such a, like, in the moment it's like da-dum, and it's like we already knew that. Like, it has 0 power at all. So it's completely spawned every single trailer. It's meant to be this great moment, but it's completely ruined. Okay, yes, in 10 years it'll be a fresh reveal. But for us, it's like the marketing really burned that moment. Like, they really I mean, would you agree? It had no power?
Yeah, it was 0 punch.
Yeah.
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 We find out that the transporter room's on deck 4 because of Burnham's line, which is interesting. Might have to block that away for later. Not really a huge deal, but thought I'd point it out. Joseph Petrick puts in €2 and it says every plot looks like a setup for next episode. Oh, next episode's absolutely
good. Yeah, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is that's a lot of what season 1 Discovery was, which I can see why you were more because this is not an episodic episode. This is a season arc episode. I liked it because we learned a lot and we developed a lot, but I can see why you want here's a story, here's the end, satisfying. Whereas I liked all the different political stuff. Is that kind of one of the main things you didn't like, do you think?
Yeah. At
least framing, structure-wise.
Yes, the framing of the episode was off for me. It was just there's too much going on, and that's why I liked the last one. It felt very Star Trek.
Which is why I didn't like the last one, because it was too simple and too, like, didn't mean much. Like, it was just like, oh, thing happened, oh, they dealt with it, oh, okay. It was like, So basically, they should have had the Tilly stuff in the last episode, all of it, to give them some more stuff to do and have more time just on this episode. Maybe that would have been a good balance.
Yeah.
Then I would have had a B plot, and you would have had less C plots. Anyway, now Stuart, is this the best scene in the episode?
No.
Oh, that's good. D7, it's a D7.
Although it's a tinga.
It's a disco tinga, disco tinga, disco 7.
This I like the whole the whole scene. This is the new D7 battle cruiser. It will not bear the banner of any single house, but the unified symbol of our whatever. Our empire. It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't do all the dialogue in this one, did I? But I was about to do it in Klingonese, but I can't. But I'll go, "Push the insignia of Ashu United Empire." Doesn't quite work, but I did like L'Orelle's outfits in this episode, though. They're clearly trying to give her some pizzazz, given how crap she looked in last season, of like the awful armor and the scars. Like Miss, I forgot her name. Sorry, Mary Lashifa is going to give you all these cool things to look at. And what do you think of how?
Yeah, but
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, what did you think of actually how, this is the question of where was Tyler, Vok, and L'Orelle in the Empire? And here she is, pretty successfully the Chancellor. He's very much by her side with the power, with the sort of command, taking up the role of torchbearer, and actively not being challenged. Not like considering what he is and who he is and where he is, very minimal to nothing. What do you think about that whole setup and the payoff of last season's setup? At least at the start. We'll get to the disappointing end, but the setup anyway.
It worked for me. It's exactly where I expected to see them when we first saw them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't disappointed in that regard. However, very quickly fell down. Before we get into that, Frank Black puts in $10 with no comment. Well, thank you very much, Frank. Very appreciated. Hope you enjoy the video. Videos.
We do try.
I
was I don't know, a little surprised how it went straight into everything's status quo, but then we got this great D7 scene of like it basically told. I mean, everyone will see in the video. We'll do we've done about this, but this scene said to the fans, "We did a boo boo. Here are the new rebooted Klingons. They've all got hair. They've got personality. Our new aesthetic is better. We've got more leather, and there's even a almost exact TNG uniform. And we're building a ship." That looks appropriate, and retconning out our previous D7. So as an olive branch to the fans, this scene is as much as a we're sorry we effed up as you can really do. I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. And they just lay it out there right away. There's a lot of we're sorry, we're fixing this with one line of dialogue, moving on.
Which I hope you'll bring up as we go along.
Yes. Thomas Potts puts in $4.99 and says there was a D7 looking ship in the Enterprise episode where Trip got pregnant. Yeah, we just did a video on that, talking to Rob Bonchoon, the visual effects supervisor, and the story behind that ship and how it wasn't supposed to be that ship. And long story short, watch it.
But in essence, that is one of those common visual retcon outs that is sort of there's a few of them in Trek that we can ignore. Just the community as a whole said that was wrong. We're now moving that out. I was meant to be a D4, and they ended up using a model of a Katinga/D7 from a later franchise show, and they knew they were wrong as soon as it went out, and they got bad feedback. And so that's one thing we ignore, and that's why we never see it again, and we only see a D5 afterwards. So no, that thing's retconned out, and the season 1 D7's retconned out. So this is the new D7 after the D5 thing. So.
Our Ruble friend, Super Touches Rubles, I can't pronounce his name, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Said, did they explain why Klingons have hair now, in show or in short treks? Yes, in this episode. That was one of the throwaway lines of dialogue. When Burnham was talking to Tyler via holo communication, she's like, I can see the Klingons are growing hair now since the war. Yep. Moving right along. We'll get to that scene when we get there, but that's one of those lines that was just like, here's a line, we fixed it, bye.
And to be fair, we know a lot of these episodes are reshot. I mean, they could all be reshoots just to, they tried to go a course. Because remember, the original showrunners made the first 5. They tested badly, they got fired, they brought in Kurtzman to fix them, he did reshoot, so possibly he might have said, because now he had control, he might have said, the fans really didn't like these 9 to 15 to 30 things. we're all fixing them anyway. Let's actually put them in the dialogue. That's why they're one-off throwaways, because you can easily say, right, get the actor's hair about the same, put them in the same scene, light it about the same. Like, you know what I mean? Do you think they might have just been throwaways, or do you think they were actually like in there from the start?
I think they were added last minute to address all the fan reactions and issues.
Yeah.
Metallic Fan 1442 puts in £5. I love how we saw a proper D7, even if it was a hologram. I hope we will see the actual ship towards the end of the season 2. Yes, we recorded some videos today. You'll see later to we talk about that. It's not exactly the same. There are a few differences that we have noticed, but there's a whole video coming out about that. So stay tuned for that.
It's very much the disco D7. And Dale Stafford, I know you like the D7 and King was the same ship, but they're not the same ship. Very distinctly not the same ship. And I think we'll both fight that until the day we die.
Mm-hmm.
And also different scales. Anyway, right, so yes. So after this Klingon scene, we have the dad of Cole, played by the same actor, which I thought was a nice touch, actually. I did talk to him in person. He said he'd been another character.
We skipped a scene there.
Well, we're still on the D7 bit. Well, no, it's when he confronts him, and you get this thumbnail from this episode. So
gotcha.
The guy says, why are you taking orders from this guy? And I guess Tyler Vogt shows authority by scraping away his face paint. I know that was for a plot reason, but at the time I was like, really? That's the move you're playing to show dominance? You're taking off his face paint? But that was very specific for the plot.
Well, that was specific to the House of Kor, that face marking. Or crossing out the people you want to kill. So yeah, it was to show unification of the Klingon people, not your House of Kor. You're not House of Kor anymore. You're not House of Kor anymore. We're uniting the Klingon people. Get that shit off your face, because we're going to be one. That's what I got out of it anyway.
That's actually brilliant. But that means that when L'Rell says later on that that her uncle, who unfortunately gets killed at the end, says that Tyler's trying to close all the houses down. Actually, what you just argued there, it looks like he tried to do that. He that was the wrong move by any stretch. He was showing the wrong message, but he didn't quite get the ceremonial meaning. Yeah, it's interesting actually. But I liked this. It was fun to see Kronos and his man bun. I mean, he at least looks more TOS Klingon-y. I kind of like that.
A little bit, yeah.
At least they did something to give him that more Klingon vibe.
Told them don't wash your hair for a few days.
No, that's Klingon sweat. You just sort of dashing Klingon sweat.
Yeah, I thought it'd be hot working on those sets. Look at all the torches they have everywhere. If they're filming in the summer, oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on. The next scene is the whole Amanda stole Spock's medical file and wants Burnham to open it. And I thought it was a pretty cool scene, actually. I don't think she'd actually steal anything, but they were shocked that because she's next of kin, but they wouldn't give her any information. They wouldn't give her his personal effects. And I think that goes back to the whole Section 31 thing, now that that's been brought up.
It's escalating, clearly.
Yeah. So it was kind of odd at the time, but when you think about it, and when we see how it fits into the rest of the season, I'm sure it's going to make more sense. So, and Amanda was great in this episode. I agree, Austin. Yes.
She was underplayed, but in a good way. Like, she was very focused, which didn't give her that much range until she needed the range. And then, like, the being pissed off and being sad, like, if you know what I mean? She was very focused on what she wanted. But yeah, I agree. But no, this was interesting that, she went to see Spock, that the information got out there, and that they wouldn't... I mean, obviously now we know in a few minutes that Spock escaped, and so they couldn't tell her anything. But did he? Is there more information?
We'll get there.
And I think this is the start of one of the things you don't like, which is the angle, which starts like flat, weird, and then...
There's too many of them in this episode. There's too many weird shots that are sideways or upside down, and they twist. And it's just like, wow. 1 or 2 in an episode, fine, but you jury-rigged like 15 into this episode? Like, wow.
I was about to say, 2 to 3 is fine, but there's at least 6. So I definitely, 2 is a bit... Because it's nice to see fun shots. I mean, these sets are also very... Because the whole point that this aspect ratio is different. You can do stuff with it visually that you can't just do in widescreen. So they're using that. But anyway, so on to Kronos. I still...
Mm.
I do love that exterior CGI, her house, basically. I think it's a really... I don't know, I like that as a little location. Yeah, I kind of dig it.
Yeah, yeah. I have no issues with it. Anyway, this is a great scene. He wants to say hi to her uncle. Hey, you're looking good, man. Love the mohawk.
Oh, the mohawk. He looks so bad from the front.
He just keeps walking. He's like, I like your uncle, man. If he liked me, he'd like talk to me and stuff. Whoa. And she's like, they support you. They believe in you. Just have faith. And that's where he throws the whole, when they look at me, they see humans. They see human. They all do. Perfect opportunity to say something about the failed augments or something. They see me as one of...
We'll go into that. Explain for the fans that don't understand. Go into that slightly.
Oh, well, 100 years ago in Enterprise, meanwhile, 100 years ago, there was a attempt to augment the Klingons to have superhuman DNA, genetically enhanced humans. Or, yeah, Klingons are trying to do some experiments. Ended up causing the smooth-headed Klingons we see in TOS called the augments, which were basically a failure. But they exist. And not just one colony that's spread throughout the Empire. So anyway, perfect example of a place they could have put something, just one line of dialogue saying they either see a human or they see the failed augments or the disgraced Klingons or something. I don't know. They could have done something with that one line. I was waiting for something and nothing happened from it. Not a huge deal, but yeah, there you go. And this is also when he says, why do you speak English to me? And I thought that was an odd choice because in the last episode, Pike said the people on this planet speak Federation Standard. It's always referred to as Federation Standard as the language. Mm-hmm. Even when one of the, I forget which material it was for Star Trek 3, but the upper command of the Klingon fleet spoke Federation Standard to each other so that their underlings wouldn't understand them because they might not, not supposed to know the language. Because in Star Trek 6, they say, only the top models speak English. So referring to the fact that the upper crust and command structure of the Klingon Empire does speak Federation Standard. So I thought that was kind of cool. But she said English, or he said English to her. I just thought that was odd.
He said English. That's just the accent. Yes, I'll get back to that in a second. Someone just B. Cullett. What about Sarek's shuttle being bombed, repaired, stolen by Amanda? Well, no, he just got a second shuttle. That's not an issue, and she didn't steal it. She just used it. Like, I'm sure she's allowed access. She just, not really worried about that. But yeah, Smoothhead certainly. I mean, we were really hoping for that, and the fact they didn't do it is just a missed opportunity. But I mean, they might not even know that's a thing. Especially if you consider they're rebooting TOS, then the idea of, well, we've already not had Smoothheads when we should have, so now we can't show the Smoothheads, otherwise we have to justify it doubling down as to, I think it's one of those classic things of, well, we can't go that far to TOS, because that's the whole point of Discovery, we're not doing TOS, even though Tyler fits perfectly fine in the Klingon aesthetic, because, they have people that like him. Wasn't an issue.
Jekyll puts in 2 pounds and says the actress who plays Amanda was great. She was great in 24.
Which actually...
I haven't seen her in that.
I actually Googled that to work out who she was. She was like the assassin from season 1. Yeah, she was great. Wow, it's been a while. She's kind of like a president or something. But no, so break down the scene a little bit. So I haven't actually done notes this time because I had literally no time today to make notes. But the other thing was fine. This whole Tyler storyline of him, every time we see him, he basically changes how he feels, which is the storyline of, he doesn't know who he is, but he keeps reasserting who he is in his multiple scenes. He's saying, well, why do they see me as human? I'm the torchbearer. It's like, but then in 10 minutes, you're going to be like, but Burnham, in essence. It's like, well, if you're so committed, then, and of course everyone sees you as human. You are mostly human. You've been genetically inferiorized. I wish Laurel said, duh. Of course they see you as human, you idiot. you know.
Just want to hit the one super chat.
Yeah.
Hold on. Fleet Paw Swiftpack puts it at $1.99. Says Federation Standard is a Klingon term for English. Not necessarily true. It is referred to as Federation Standard in a lot of side novels and things by the Federation as well, and other members of the Federation as Federation Standard. It's just like the colloquialism for
And obviously,
English.
Tyler Vok is also half Klingon, so he could have used the Klingon. He was Klingon first.
Yes.
And he's Klingon in this context. Yeah. He's trying to be Klingon, so he surely would use a Klingon versions. But it's great, though. We said this really early on, that because he was with L'Rell, Klingons can speak English. You know. And every Klingon did better because they could speak English. You didn't question. There wasn't pause for, this scene is dragging on. It was all like acted. Well, still through the makeup, bit of a shame, but that's always been the problem. I do like how they kept focusing on the fingers. Like, I saw it very much as he's trying to wipe the blood off his hands. Like he couldn't get he kept rubbing his fingers as if I'm trying to be the Klingon through the get through the human into the Klingon. But it was very more literal than that, so I appreciate the double meaning. That was a good little throw me off, and yet... Because everything just set up and a payoff, and that was actually a pretty good setup and a pretty good payoff, considering. Bit dumb. And then she kisses him.
Yeah.
What do you think of that moment? He's like, I'm telling you, I'm Vok. Treat me like Vok. And it's like, well, obviously she's going to... You idiot. What do you think about that moment?
And then he's like, when you touch me, I'm disgusted, basically. It's like, wow. Okay.
Conflicting message,
These guys are off to a great start. Yeah. I don't know. It's what I thought the relationship was going to be at this point. Based on season 1, I thought that they would be, together for quite a while, taking care of the Klingon Empire and maybe unifying, as we talked about, not just unifying the Klingon people, but the different versions of Klingons, because incorporate the augments, who might be a lower grade at this point, kind of frowned down upon. But it worked. It was fine for what it was.
Yeah. It's interesting that storyline for them is sort of broken down to this. Like there's sort of more for each, but it was interesting that was the direction they went exactly. And like I said, mixed messaging is a real bad thing. I've had that happen to me before with people, and it's like, what a mean thing. Like he went there for a reason, and clearly he knew that was a sign to L'Rell. Yeah.
Xavier Gamer says, when you touch me, I'm disgusted is a relationship killer. Do you think? I should try that tonight.
Well, she's putting a blindfold then.
We do that anyway. But
I'll say something else. But one thing I did feel, and it's a little bit later on, but I don't know if we'll get it through the visuals only, is that based on the timings of last season, I don't buy that L'Rell and Tyler Vok fell in love so deeply that more than Kahless and his wife. It's like you were on a ship for 6 months starving, and we didn't get any sense of flirty until right at the end when he sort of flirted a bit, and then you got mutilated and then humanized for a few months. So when was the several months of seeing a sunset in love? Like that was a real flip of, wow, they're that much in love? It's like, I really didn't get that sense from season 1. That's overplaying the card, I think. Like, they can fancy each other and find a real connection, but, that much in love is like, didn't buy it. Didn't buy that.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah. Anyway, off a weird Klingon, half Klingon hybrid kiss.
Yeah, to the next scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in this episode, because we got Pike, and I do enjoy Pike's character. Plus, we've got a very TOS-looking data card. It's opaque; you can't see through it. It's cool that it's kind of like the medical colors, white and red. It's got the cut in it, the angle. It's exactly like they're supposed to be the same size. So they're moving towards that TOS look. So awesome, that's good.
But that's
I love how Pike's.
Sorry, it's one of those things where they should have done that. So we are giving them credit for something they should have done, but at least they did.
Yeah. And I love how Pike's like, I can't help you with this. My mother wouldn't approve. My mother wouldn't like that. Because he's a good boy, Captain Pike. Thought that was really good. And then he contacts Captain Blaine on Starbase 5. And this is where I think we get a little bit of a dig to the
fans,
Trek fans. When he's only my grandma and you are still communicating on screens. Your grandmother's a smart woman. I mean, That's got to pay off at some point, this hologram technology, with references like that. That's one of those other lines, by the way. That's just a line of dialogue like, hey, we're addressing this issue. You guys are making such a big deal out of it. But it felt like a little bit of a dig to the fans.
And before I address that, think about this for a moment, though. How much cheaper was this to do? Full hologram walking around a scene, or he's talking to a big screen TV. And yet, how much more effective was it? Because guess what? The other two ladies can be there watching. We get a sense of tension. We get a sense of limited visibility. We get a sense of one-on-one, very focused, very like still, just in dialogue, rather than people like walking around like, oh, I'm doing this. And it's like, no. This was a better scene than any of the hologram bits from, remember in the first episode, the door, I mean, that's all subjective, but we know Trek a little bit, we think. In the first episode of last season, the door opens and Burnham walks in and the Admiral like looks towards her. And it's like, really? The problem with this sort of thing is that with TMP, they didn't address the Klingon change. So you accept it as, okay, he visually updated it, fine. Then the other writers sort of made note of it and then made it make sense in more canon. Now they've said to us that screens is not a thing anymore. Now it's made the problem of them using holograms even worse. Because now you can't justify why no one else the rest of the time doesn't use them, because now it's obviously the standard. So they should have done the other way around. They should have said,
you know what's going to happen? They can fix this. They can fix it. We're going to find out that the holographic technology is easily hackable, as I've said, and somebody's going to hack into the hologram system and make the hologram tactile so they can actually activate buttons on the other ship, and it's going to cause some failure. Yes. And they're going to say this hologram technology isn't worth the holographic projectors it's printed on. We're going to get rid of it and just use the standard visual communications from now on until Deep Space Nine, where we try it again, and god damn it, no one likes it, so we're not going to ever use it.
We should be writing Discovery, Yeah. It's just when they call things out specifically, it's like, no, everyone uses monitors, everyone uses them. What are you on about? It's kind of the opposite way they should have done the reference. But it was nice. At least they mentioned it, and again, the scene worked better this way. I think it was more focused. It was more, and they saved money for other things, which is important. This is why Discovery is the most expensive show ever. They blow money on expensive cast that weren't necessarily worth it, and silly little mistakes. But a good little scene. Do you want to explain what happened actually in the scene? It's about Spock. We're back on Spock.
Well, this is where we find out that, the information on Spock is he has killed 3 doctors and has escaped. And Pike's like, well, why hasn't everyone been notified so that we can track him? Well, because it's a very delicate matter, and his case has been classified. And apparently some of his information was stolen. Dun, dun, dun. With Amanda like, So if it gets back to Pike's going to be in serious trouble if he knew this. Then he goes and orders Burnham to crack into the medical file. That's an order, he says. So, yeah. So, and everybody's freaking out about Spock being a mass murderer. Spock is not a mass murderer. Clearly, he didn't kill anybody. It's going to be a case of probably Section 31 busted him out for some reason to get to these Red Angels, and they had to kill people along the way, and of course they framed him, and it's all going to come out in the wash at the end that he didn't do it, and he's exonerated, and all this.
Did you for 1 second think they actually meant they killed him? Did you actually think that?
No.
Me either.
Because I know this Spock character. I've seen him once or twice.
Once or twice, yeah. Maybe more than that, I feel like. A couple of times? Maybe.
Yeah, he's been around a few times, yeah.
No, exactly. I mean, it was a plot device. He was broken out. It might be interesting if, how often in sci-fis and even in TOS with Whom Gods Destroy, the guy that ran the asylum was crazy himself. It's a trope. Happened in Arrow recently. So what if the person that ran the medical facility was like, ooh, Spock's writing things that can help, and I'm gonna keep him, whatever. And so when Spock asked to leave because he's not necessarily fully crazy, they don't let him, and essentially has to break him out because he's not even being let out. And so there's more layers to that. It's definitely not the way it seems That's the whole Section 31 thing.
We got 2 super chats,
Lovely.
200 rubles. Screens are more comfortable than holograms because they are not transparent. Yes, I agree. And Thomas Potts puts in a $1.09 and says, didn't Spock snap a doctor's neck in the trailer? No, Vulcan neck pinched a doctor. That's a totally different thing. That's a thing. I don't know if you knew that. Vulcans have this neck pinch thing.
For 50 years, I think that's been a thing. For 50.
I think, yeah.
And used in every single show by multiple characters.
Yeah. So maybe he went a little crazy. We'll see that, and we'll find out what the context is of that scene. But yeah, I can see him like knocking people out with the damn thing, but not killing anyone. And he certainly didn't break anybody's neck. He didn't pull a Vok Tyler and.
That was a good sound effect. That was a really nice meaty little.
Right. I am Foley, Captain Foley, Foley artist. Come on now, Foley artist.
Canon. Perfect. No, yeah, like I say, Spock. It's a plot, and I mentioned this in our review as well. But it's just the same thing that people are jumping to, like the same thing that some people, and then that spread took out of the last episode about how Burnham and Spock had this weird thing, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, do they date? Do they get together? Do they have sex?" And it's like, I mean, no. I
didn't get that at all.
That's not the sort of character thing you write. Even my dad, who I showed him the episode, and from the trailer, he was like, "Oh my god, is that? Oh my god, they're all right." Because he also thought that a little bit. He's like, "Yeah, but in the trailer for episode 3, you see Burnham and for the season, Burnham and Spock kiss because Spock's got a beard, and I'm seeing a guy with a beard kiss." I'm like, "No, it's Tyler." Click, click, click. There he is, Tyler. It's like, oh yeah. It's like, yeah. I mean. So yeah, same thing. Anyone jumps to say Spock is like this is wrong. I mean, almost if Section 31 is doubly. Okay, question to you. More interesting as a question. If Spock was accused of killing 3 people, and Section 31 did all that, is that enough leverage? The proof they didn't do it, is that leverage enough for Spock to do what they say? Like if because we see him on a Section 31 ship in the next episode, or at least in a tease next moment. So we know he's going to be in that situation at some point. Are they to use him? Would that control him if they could say, "Oh, do what we say, otherwise you'll be on the run forever"? You know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Metallic Fan 1442 puts in £2 and says, "For me, it's obvious that Section 31 set him up." But yeah, we're going to have to see how that plays out, because I'm not sure what they would be using against him. I mean, they could say, yes, you're going to be accused of these murders. But Spock's like, logically, I didn't do them, so I'm not too concerned about it.
But if I mean, you've seen in the end episode that they can digitally replicate full faces. I mean, I've no doubt they could kill these 3 officers and make it look like Spock 100%. This is Section 31. You know, they can allow that Spock's word is not enough. You know what I mean? 3 dead officers, security cameras to prove it, DNA evidence. I mean, this is a long time to be on a very small line of dialogue, but you know, I'm wondering how deep that goes. Anyway,
yeah. So, /.-121 puts in £1.99.
Thank you.
You knew as soon as you heard the name, you're like, goddamn. So show us flesh, Captain. Don't be shy. That kid is okay. Well, here you go. There's some flesh. There you go. I'll sew it for you.
Should I be cheeky as well and show some of mine, Stuart? Some normally non-scene stuff. You ready?
Oh my god, look at that tan. That's
or lack
hot.
Thereof. I'm so white. Yeah.
Anyway,
William Dylan.
So we move on.
Something with Spock and Michael in episode 1, not our fault. Well, some of us didn't read that at all, so it's all perspective.
Yeah.
Daniel Hens, where the hell is my super chat? Did you miss one with Daniel Hens? Hens.
Don't believe so. Let me go take a look.
You guys having fun? I'm having fun. Good times had by all. I'm not even that far through this episode.
There is no one from Daniel Hens.
Oh. Hens. Okay. Sorry, Daniel, didn't go through.
There is. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Ah. Sorry, Daniel. Stuart's fault. It did go through.
Yeah, there it is. So, 2 Franks.
Oh, thank you.
I really like the lighting in Pike's Ready Room. Yeah, I was gonna talk about that one, and then we kind of got off on a tangent. Sorry.
Well, there it is again.
Yeah, it's very much like they're orbiting a sun, or a planet with a sun nearby. Like really, it's morning sunlight. It's a nice, friendly, warming environment.
And it's very yellow for his should be yellow uniform. Like it actually fits the feel of the cage a little bit. Now, do you remember in season 1 of Discovery, there was a specific episode where they love their orange light beams, and people were praising its art design, praising its cinematography. I'm thinking, they just shone a light through a window and made some fog. Well done, simple trick. You get no. So you know what I mean. This is just, we want to make the scene look more interesting. We'll do some heavy blue, some heavy orange. And I'm fine with them being around the sun, although we never get a sense of where they are in space, so that's fine. But it doesn't quite answer why other parts of the episode it's just blinding white outside. Anyway,
next scene.
Yes, they hack the file.
Yes, and we find out that Spock has an extreme apathy deficit. Blah.
Yes.
This is actually a pretty interesting scene, this whole thing. Because Spock could think he was doing the right thing and actually kill these people. He could be controlled by these red angels and kill these people, or he could have been set up or whatever. There's a lot of different things that could play out here. And it's this whole conversation with Amanda and Burnham is really well done, because Amanda thinks that she wasn't a good mother because she hid her feelings from Spock, but she was able to show those feelings to Michael because Sarek wanted. That's kind of what he wanted.
And Cybok never wanted those feelings. He wanted to do his own thing, damn it. Just got to always mention Cybok. He's there somewhere.
The thing that bugs me, I mean, they started talking about how Spock drew the Red Angels as a kid and whatever.
Yes.
Started seeing them when he was a little boy. But then you can hear the distinct sound of a tribble.
Yes, I noticed that.
It's a tribble sound, and then Burnham's like, oh, I have a message or whatever. And she goes and, I don't know, I forget what she does, but it was odd because there's a triple sound. It's like,
what?
There's no. I mean, maybe they didn't get all the tribbles. Maybe Lorca's tribble started eating the cookies, and they're all over the ship. They think they got them all, but there's one in like one of the air ducts or something.
It was a real weird Easter egg. It's like, okay, maybe Amanda brings them with her just for fun.
Yeah, it sounded like it was her
is
her text message sound effect. Because as soon as she gets it, she's like, I gotta go, I got a message, and then she goes and talks to Tyler.
Yeah. Oh, to be fair though, the code for Tyler is Tribble. Tribbles hate you, and therefore it's actually kind of funny. That's so stupid. The Great Tribble War. That's the sound effect I used for my Tyler.
Oh, we got to see the Great Tribble War sometime in Discovery. That'd be cool.
That should be all lower decks. Just the second Great Tribble War.
That's the first appearance. The first appearance of the D7 in this mighty Tribble War. They warp into a orbit of a planet and start bombarding the planet with the D7s. /.-121 puts it 399. I would fac the dock and use Isaac as a cup. Oh, we're talking about Orville or garbage bin.
Seen, so I'm glad that wasn't spoilery.
Yeah. Thomas Potts puts in $1.99. Maybe Cybok went crazy since he was being ignored.
Sure.
Well, Cybok was being raised by a Vulcan princess.
Well, until she died, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, who knows?
But they were in the same, because we did that when they originally announced Burnham a while ago. We did the timelines. They did coexist for a couple of years in the same house. Yeah. And with this scene, people have a lot of problems with how they're changing Spock. This is when they mentioned the mirroring, but I was mostly fine because it's layered. Like it's all from a perspective. Like we haven't learned both sides yet. You know.
They mention that later.
I know. I'm trying to remember what's in this scene that I can talk about because
there's not much. No,
apart from the what was the word you used? The not being empathy.
Situation.
Yeah, that was interesting, and I was surprised by that exact wording. It's like he's
extreme apathy deficit.
Because surely he's normally a little bit apathetic. He's a Vulcan, like he's normally like a little bit. Seems weird that'd be the thing they call out specifically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's a link in some small way to T'Pol, like not like directly, but you know some things can affect Vulcans, and as soon as you start losing some emotional barriers, empathy's not necessarily emotion, but apathy. But you know your ability to care changes how you act. You know if you can do this or this or this, it changes who you are.
Bill Barkley said, "The chime to me, 'twas no tribble at all." Ah, ah, ah. Empathy deficit, not apathy.
Yes.
Why did I write down apathy? I don't know, because I'm an idiot. So empathy deficit. And that goes back to the last one where that's what Sarek wanted Burnham to kind of teach Spock when they're kids. Is
That's
empathy.
the dumbest thing, though.
I know.
That one's the
I'm
dumbest
not going to talk about that. Let's move on.
Now, this shot, I love this shot. It's a whole conversation is fine, but this one shot I adore because this is real filmography, cinematography. It's like, let's make a cool shot, you know? I love every single time we see this conversation, we cut perspectives to either him or him fake, her or her fake, different hologram looks, which was fun. They had completely different hologram tech, or them together, or him as a hologram in her room. Like, it was a lovely little. They filmed it so many different ways to get that, and I really liked that. And this digital half, I thought was really good. Like, it's so simple. It's just they didn't physically put the sets together. And actually, you see. Oh, actually, I didn't realize that you actually see both perspectives because I remember the other version of this where you see her. Wow, they did put a lot of time and work into that. They have literally every version of this conversation.
This was a fantastic scene, yeah.
Yeah.
This is where we get the whole throwaway line. Let's fix continuity now. Post-war, the Klingons are growing their hair again, I see. And he kind of says, yep. All right, next. It's funny because Michael's trying to support him and, didn't want him to leave. I like your hair. Or your beard, sorry. And then talks about L'Rell saying she admires you and has faith in you. Take her at her word. It's kind of a nice pep talk from Burnham because he's all alone really. If he's still got the Ash Tyler persona and he's trapped on Kronos. I mean, it was kind of nice. Inputs? No. Next scene.
Sorry, yes. 1 second.
Yes. I'll just move on to the next scene unless you have something to say about this scene.
Okay, yeah, I do know. It was a good scene. It was very gingerly played. Kind of awkwardly played. But like I say, it was... I didn't know what I was expecting for this. Because he did choose... Like, he kept swapping. Every time he was presented with something, a new challenge, he kept swapping how he felt. I didn't think he was that conflicted, but I guess he is. But like I say, the cinematography of this scene was great. It was the simplest conversation and done the most cool, simple way. You know? And certainly the hair thing was underdone as a joke, for sure.
It's kind of funny, yeah. Before we move on, we got another super chat of $50. Thank you very much.
What? Wait, American?
Yes.
Oh my god, thank
like
you.
What
That's
you do,
amazing.
Here's some gas money.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
And is that the master?
Amazing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's Anthony Ainley. Kyle is the master. That is the best master, if that is indeed. Or is that just your face? If it's just your face, it looks like the master. So, wow, thank you so much. That's amazing. That supports the channel in a huge way. So, here's to you.
Thank you. All right, so next scene is the shadow exercises with the More Command training program. We're going to be shadowing some senior officers. This scene was funny. Not so much funny. This gives you the feeling of what it's like to have schizophrenia, where there's a physical person there talking to you that you think is real, and you can't tune them out. It would drive you crazy. And having her interrupt while Pike was talking to her, and then Tilly just blow up and quit. I'm sure that Pike's like,
what?
Huh? I thought it was a well played scene. I thought it was good. So, yeah.
I like
John Harrison. Before you talk, John Harrison, 2 pounds. Can tribbles be eaten? How would they taste? I don't know. I think there'd be a lot of reproductive organs you can grill up. I don't know. It's a good question. I'd have to see a skinned or a shaved tribble.
Well, the thing is, we know they're born pregnant, so I don't know.
You're eating the babies.
And do they have babies? Tribble is a weird creature. Everyone slightly weird.
Right.
But we knew that going in.
Yes.
This scene, I liked parts of it. It's kind of what my mum actually. I just used to watch episodes as well, because I like talking about this stuff. She liked bits of the episode, didn't like other bits. This scene, I liked bits of it, but not other bits. I didn't like the scene as a whole, but I liked bits of it. Does that make sense? I think you like this scene more than me.
I enjoyed this scene quite a bit because, again, Pike, and I do enjoy Pike's character, and the Tilly interaction was nice because she's not being overly hyped and excited like everybody is complaining about. She's being very, withdrawn, and I thought that was really well done. I like how Pike's like, you're using less syllables than normal. Is everything okay?
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Me too. But for me, I liked her performance. I thought that was great. But the frame structure of it was such like a waste of time for me. So they're shadowing people. Okay, they're obviously not busy doing anything important that the captain can just allow training programs to happen with a second in command that's obviously not busy. And these random crew, and then obviously Tilly gets Pike. But Tilly's always on the bridge. Tilly's always known these people. It's like, it felt such a unfair advantage of like, when you have main characters that aren't main characters in the context of the ship, it's like, it doesn't quite feel the same. Although I don't like the scene as a whole, but I loved the setup with you see the lady, there's hallucination in two different places in the same shot. That I loved.
That happened a few times in this episode where she would switch places behind the camera, and all of a sudden appear behind. Yeah.
But that was great because she just walked out the shot and just walked back in, and you can see for half a second she's moving, and she's just getting like she just made it. I love it.
Yeah.
It always doesn't work. So that I loved. Yeah. I thought that was a great little easy sell. But the bridge shot, my god! I mean, again, the live is a bit delayed, but you can see 3 people standing at the front of the bridge. That view screen is like 15 people wide. I mean, the space in between the 2 consoles is like 4 people wide, and the consoles themselves are like 4 people wide, and the sides are like 8 people wide. It's like, my god, it's so big. Yeah. You could fit 100 people on that bridge, like not even with room, Yeah.
We got another 100 rubles. Tribbles are like pineapples. While you eat them, they eat you back.
Is that a thing? What?
I don't know. That's confusing to me, but that's okay. I thought that was a window. Says Smidley do right.
Did you notice that almost every time we see Pike, he's got this awesome, like, professional, shoulders back, hair perfect, looking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Every damn shot of him. That must be his contract. Like, I want to look handsome and rugged in every episode, in every shot I'm in. It's all the damn time. He has so many smirky smiles. He's having fun.
And one thing I want to point out is those aliens, the aliens that are on the bridge.
Yes.
They look like the aliens from the Enterprise incident, Silent Enemy. I think that's the name of the episode.
Ooh. Do they?
Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture unless you can look one up.
I don't know. I don't remember aliens.
But I thought they looked. They looked familiar.
Well,
but anyway.
Yeah, kinda. Not really.
These ones are 25% different.
More than that, actually. No, I like that. But that was nice. I love. They were a fun just cutaway, but I love when they leave the room and you see Linus just blink.
Yeah.
Like an awkward blink. It's like, what? Blink. That's great. That was a good edit. That is such a little edit. But the performance was great by Tilly. But I didn't. She's too important again. But I like that because obviously we now know the payoff. But I like that we don't know what this hallucination is. But she's very focused. She gets more and more focused. She's mentioned this other captain gets confused. It's. I didn't know where that was going. Like, you couldn't know it was spore related, but like they're kind of playing it in a good way. And poor Tilly, because it's just like, you're trying, girl, but this is not a good day for you. Yeah.
Let's see.
Back to Tyler Vok washing he still feels stuff on his hands, which is again a nice reminder that stuff's still there.
Oh yes, this is where we find out about the little baby albino.
But if you go to the live the stream, you can see that there's that great establishment shot where he's running across the bridge, and the right hand castle, which is so dark, is like perfect Klingon architecture. Like, really good job I just digitally lightened it by a lot. And it's a really like good job for them. One of the things I noticed going in. Do you see it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's really hard to see. It's pretty much impossible to see. But I thought it was a nice touch.
One thing I noticed, and I'm sure we'll see a picture of it, is the symbol on Tyler Vockler, whatever you want to call him. The symbol on his jacket looks similar in shape to the Martog family crest that we see in DS9. It's got the same kind of shape. So I don't know if there's going to be some tie-in eventually with that. Hopefully not, but just saying, looks the same.
Yeah. So yeah, the baby. So weirdly, I don't understand. This scene was a poor excuse of exposition. It was like, I'm in Laurel's quarters. Look, someone's walking through Laurel's quarters. I follow them. I followed them to the truth.
Yes.
I mean,
I had the feeling that was, I thought that was Laurel originally. That was kind of following Tyler. But
I thought. I mean, I assumed
it was just.
Oh, sorry. Well, it was nothing really. I assumed it was. I assumed that was the Section 31 intro. That's Giorgio coming in and saying, "Oh, this, and this, and this." Obviously, it's not. So I guess Uncle wanted him there. That's why.
Well, yeah, I think so. I think they wanted they wanted to tell him about it, but they knew that Laurel didn't want him to know. That's why whenever he walked into the room when they were talking, they would all shut up and leave because they were talking about the baby and how to figure this out.
Okay.
That's the implication I got from it. Joseph Petrick puts in €2 and says, does the albino baby fit with the DS9 time-wise? And absolutely it does.
Real interesting. I mean, Tyler would have as well. Just a bit too old, but pretty close. But I mean, it's a weird throwaway. Like, I wonder why.
It won't be a throwaway. They're going to revisit that kid, even though once they're in the monastery, they don't allow anyone in, and they don't allow the people out. So, it's the same monastery from that Worf went to, by the way, guys.
Yeah, it was yeah. I mean, it was definitely interesting, and yeah, albino baby. I mean, it's cool. Have that be, and someone did point out, the houses that are responsible for messing up his parents' lives, one of which is Cole, and Cole is one of the ones we see in TOS, and yeah. What do you think of the baby reveal? Because I did not see that coming. It's like, oh, baby.
I was just laughing at Brian Kestersen's Mr. T meets Samurai Jack. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a weird look.
Yeah, I didn't see the baby thing coming either, but the explanation for it, I missed the first time, but got it on the second one where they found out she was pregnant while they were doing the conversion to Tyler Vock. Yep. And so they decided to remove it and grow it outside the womb. And yeah, it was interesting. So I'm thinking to myself, when did she have time to give birth? Like, what's the gestation period for a Klingon? I don't even know. Does she have 2 wombs?
Yeah.
Does she have a womb with a view? I don't even know. Come on now, I had to say it.
I mean, yeah. What they say is that to allow her to trigger Vok, she had to not be pregnant. Yes. And so I buy that just fine. Although it's a weird, like, just use protection, guys. You're trying to start with, you had 6 months of starvation. You're trying to make this revolt. Why do unprotected, guys? Come on. Look what happened. Look, the whole empire is in trouble, and the gets kidnapped child napped the first day you know you have a baby. But I was not the same twist I thought they were gonna go. But I liked how Tyler approached it. I liked that he says in this next scene that as soon as he saw the baby, he felt whole. Both his sides connected, which I thought was an interesting phrasing. Because again, he's once again the same episode confirmed his loyalty to the Klingon side, and he moves on from that by the end of the episode in a sense, and it's like that. Like, they kept really pushing that because I was like, okay, great. He's gonna have a whole season on Kronos. Yeah. He's gonna get some tattoos and gonna get all this. No, so, okay. It's weird.
Yeah, Thomas Potts said they did use protection, but he only had 1 condom for 2 Klingon dicks. Trent Collicutt puts in $5 Canadian. Thank you very much with no comment, but thank you.
And it's worth mentioning the super chat guys are so important. You guys put any amount you want, and we'll read any comment you say. So we do want to know what you guys think about this episode, and we will talk about what points you bring up in or out of continuity with the piece.
Yeah, and so are likes. Likes are important as well. We have 334 people watching,
which is brilliant.
Let's try to if everybody clicked like,
yes,
or even some of you click dislike. I don't even care because it's an interaction. Please do and like the video.
So we have 94 likes. I want 80 of you to like. So I want to be at 150, 160 likes in a few minutes. So 95 likes. Everyone should start liking. Thank you so much. But 330 people. That's awesome for watching. So yeah, I was very convinced that Tyler was very committed now. Like that was the step. You know, having a baby. That's interesting. Yeah. He has to be Vok, but he can be more gentle by human. Although would the kid register him okay, because he's not actually his dad anymore, it's a horribly mutated version of his dad. You know? Although they did point out he didn't recognize him or the mum, but yeah
that he wouldn't know it, either one of them. Carter Baker puts in $1 with no comment. Thank you very much, Carter.
Enough. Thank you. And did you notice how much Laurel cleavage there was in this episode? Like every dress she had Laurel like chest prosthetics. It's like
why would I notice cleavage, Samuel?
You're a big cleavage man. But no, because all the neck makeup.
I'm a big cleavage man. Words of Samuel. I'm getting stared at by Sylvia because she knows. Anyway, we got a super chat.
There's too much prosthetics. It's distracting.
Yes. Rive Law iBand Rock YouTube puts in €5. Isn't one of the 3 Klingons in the baby reveal scene Giorgio? Same outfits. Possibly, because yes, she does have that cloaking technology. Literally, it's a cloak, and when she pulls it back, you see the alien makeup or hologram disappear.
Now I thought that, but as soon as I thought that, I realized no, they're just reusing the costume for efficiency's sake. Because the cleverest thing for Giorgio to do is to just have a normal outfit, but with holotech in the inside. They've customized rather than you wouldn't be able to walk through with a custom uniform. So no, the face didn't look. The vibe I got was the face didn't look like the Giorgio hologram face, and the limitation of tech is sort of she's got to be in the. So I know what you mean, but my gut says it's not Giorgio because that'd be weird if it was. Because she's just taking the baby.
It definitely could be. Definitely could be. They could have. Well, she doesn't want to take the baby because that would cause instability between Tyler and Thorell. So
should have protected it then. But, I don't know.
Fat Produce puts in $2. Says, "Can we talk about how epic Tyler's Amish beard is?" It is an epic Amish beard, I must say.
Let me find a good picture. I think he looks pretty...
Yeah, more like a Persian warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Stuart, look at how many likes we have now. Look at our awesome community.
Wow, you guys are awesome. Keep hitting like if you haven't. Please.
And you talk about some chats. I'm going to find a cool picture while you talk to the fans, okay?
Okay. Yeah, and Jeff Jacob, one of our moderators, says puts in $3 and says, "I will do $5 more if we get to 200 likes." So that would be awesome. Moonface Martin 88 puts in €2 with no comment, but thank you very much. Wow, you guys are just awesome. Dave C puts in $5. Your channel is refreshing compared to the 3 main I Hate Discovery channels that shall remain nameless. They shall remain nameless, but everyone knows who you're talking about. So thank you very much for joining us. We do try to keep it nice and fair and balanced. Greg Ken puts in $2 Australian. Thank you. Love your work. Your back catalog has kept me busy, as it tends to do. People that find us, they start watching our videos, and we've got so many that they're like, "I hate you so much because I've just watched your show for 2 weeks solid."
What?
Carter Baker puts in $5. I think the section we've had 4 super chats since she left.
Wow.
I think the Section 31 ship slaughters Cannon. Cannon only has 1 N in this case. 2 N's is a weapon, by the way. 1 step closer to being a Borg in my hospital bed after 5 plates and 32 screws in my foot. Wow. I hope you get better soon. That's awful. But thank you very much for the super chat.
Dude,
you probably need the $5 more than we do at this point.
But we hope we're providing that $5 worth of entertainment. Please, yes. We've got literally hundreds of thousands of millions of hours of content. Please watch ad nauseum. And
Fat Produce puts $2. I really love Tilly's breakdown to Burnham. Yes, we're getting there.
And just the Section 31 ship, I don't think slaughters Cannon, but we have to wait for it first. We really don't know anything yet. I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah. And thanks, Craig, and thanks, David C. We also try to be refreshing and neutral. Like, you liked it more, I liked it less, I liked it more. I can't find the picture physically, so I'm going to find it digitally because I just want to bring it up based on
of you and Tyler? Are you yanking on his beard or something?
No, I'm not. But it's
so we're
fun.
Taking a bit of a break while he searches for something.
Well, talk about what happens in the next scene.
Yes. All right. So the next scene, we learn a lot about the Burnham and Spock incident.
Oh, that's
how the Red Angel appeared to Spock the night that Burnham ran away from home. With Spock's help, with the Red Angel's help, Spock directed Sarek to where Burnham was. So now the Red Angels are tied into Burnham as well.
But back to his beard for 1 second. Doop. God. There's a look. I've met the man. I've met the hair, and this is him at mid to end season. Oh, this is Matt Midget to change it. But look, I met Tyler Vock. There I am. Who's more handsome? The what's his name? The Klingon torchbearer or me? I said be Klingon. And he's being Klingon. You jealous, Stuart? I met Tyler. /Vock.
I've seen the picture before, but I can't see it. There it is. Wow, look at your...
I'm trying to be Klingon.
You got that whole...
attitude.
You could be a like an assassin with that face, man. He doesn't look mean at all. He's like, yeah, man, I got you. Whatever this motherfucker's going to do, I'm going to be right behind you. That's the look he's got. He's your buddy. He's your backup. He's your wingman. You're like I'm going to kill you.
Well, I mean, you can't really see the person next to you when you're taking the photo. But yeah, I was very proud to meet all the Discovery cast at that event. I've basically shook the hands of all of them, met them all, and I'll save the Rel one for a later date when she's even more powerful than the Chancellorship. But yeah, I had a lovely interaction with them all. And I actually had a better interaction with him. We had more chemistry, me and him, so I've got a soft spot for him now because I actually know the man a little bit. He's a guy that we could both go to chicken wings and a beer with. Believe me, I feel like that's he's one of the cast that we could.
Not that we'd ever do that, because that's just Lizzie Smith puts in £1.99. Samuel is whiter than an albino.
Yeah.
He's British. That goes without saying, right? Aren't you always covered in fog over there?
I am so white compared to
Theo.
Him. That's great. Sorry.
Tim Theo puts in $1.
Thanks,
thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
Anyway, back to the scene. Let's get this episode done.
If you say so. Long way to go. Sorry. Yes.
This is where we don't have a long way to go, actually.
When I will give you a call out, Stuart, you were 100% right. I re-listened it for this review. They did say the first time you saw it was the runaway. In our video, I actually edited it, so I removed my objection, but I kept in or at least the first time we know about, or they know about. So I actually made that quite a smooth edit. Yes. But do you think that actually is what it is? That actually it's very much helps you when you need them with Burnham? Because that is sort of the Burnham link, or is it made that to have his trust? Like, what do you think of that note? Because it's a very specific timeline-based comment. What do you think?
Which comment?
Oh, no, about how you were right that the Red Angel gave Spock the coordinates of Burnham. So does that mean the Red Angels are actually about Burnham, not about Spock? Now it's been...
That's what I'm getting the feeling of. And I hate that because everybody's already going on about how much of a Mary Sue she is that can do anything, and now all these Red Angels are tied to her and not Spock, and so she's the catalyst for all this. If they do that, I think that might be a misstep, but let's get into the super chats before we move on. 500 rubles.
Thank you.
I really hope Red Angel is a person we already know, time loop, self-fulfilling prophecy. Otherwise, it so smells the chosen one narrative. Kinda.
That's interesting, actually.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And Moonface Martin 88 puts in €5.
Thank you.
And says the app messed up the comment. Never mind. Hope they leave it a Martok badge. No more lazy fan service, please. I've already had to endure Wrath of Khan 2.
Oh.
Into darkness. Into dumbness, as I like to call it.
Yes.
All right.
But yes, I agree with you. It might be about Burnham.
Anyway, this is where we find out.
Probably a shame, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I got another super chat of CLP 1300. I'm not sure what that is. You could play Kirk, Samuel. Is the comment.
Thank you. That means a lot. I don't.
Except Kirk wasn't British.
I'm not gonna do an American accent. I can do Russian. Is Kirk's a Russian? I can play the Chekhov. And that money was £1.52 sterling. For Mother Russia.
Don't even try. All right. So here we also find out about the Burnham Spock.
Stewart.
Right? Yes. Here we find out about the Burnham Spock thing where Spock was basically her little shadow because, he wanted to, she's the older sister. I mean, I can see him wanting to get to know her, get some of the affection from her that he wasn't getting from his mother because of the Sarek thing. And this is where Amanda says she feels really bad because of the whole incident with her not being able to give Spock the attention that emotion that she really would have wanted to. She feels like a bad mother. That all got put on Burnham, which made Spock kind of resent her. Blah, blah, blah. And then that Burnham did something very bad to Spock so that he wouldn't follow her anymore because she was worried about Vulcan or logic extremists taking it out on Spock because Spock was following her, and of course she's human on Vulcan, so that kind of makes sense. But the hurt on Amanda's face when she walked out of that room after hearing that,
palpable.
This is a revelation for her. And Burnham says, "I'm going to find Spock. I'm going to help him." And she's like, "No, you're not. I am." And she takes off. So now their relationship is damaged because of Burnham's actions as well. I mean, this was a really well played scene. And love to hear the exact thing she did to Spock, but
a nice build is good, and I mean, it's real nice to have Burnham not be the best thing ever, that she knows there's something wrong. She's trying to make amends. She's not the savior of it all. There's limitations to what she is and who she can be, and characters are defined by their weaknesses. Seriously, having these weaknesses is the most important thing. Although, did you notice, Stuart, that in the scene, returned are the completely whited out windows?
Yep. I did notice that while watching this scene. I was like, what the hell is going on? But
I don't understand.
Fat Produce puts in $2. I really hope Pike ends up in a chair at the end. Oh, dude, that's awful. But I have a feeling his ending up in a chair might be a result of Section 31. And the whole radiation thing could be a cover.
Ooh.
I mean, it's possible. And with the way the season's going, who knows? That could be the case.
Okay. Would you want that, though? That's sort of...
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Either way, depending on what the mission is. Either way, it's one way he's saving cadets from radiation. The next could be whatever the mission is. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Okay, can I enhance that? I still like the cadet thing. That's really... But what if it was on a Section 31 mission? So... Because it always seemed like quite a simple way of going, even if it was heroic. What if it was saving them in a really awesome, epic mission? But the cover story is just a simple mission.
I'd be down for that. That'd be fine.
Yeah.
Kind of goes what I say about Section 31, though. I'm kind of sick that it's crammed into everything now, but it would be a nice tie-in, a good end to a good captain helping out.
It's the best.
Either way, it's fine, though.
The best bit about Section 31 in DS9, their first appearance was that it's a episode that all turns out to be a holodeck simulation. They're just in a random holodeck, in black clothes, they don't mention anything, and they disappear. That's all we see. How? Where? Why? Moving on. Not, they've got a brand new ship, with a sort of cloak, sort of new guns, sort of black badges. It's like, keeps de-raveling the mystery factor and the cool factor.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Tanner Waterbury puts in $5 and says, Samuel,
yes,
did Shaz Latif hear you clearly?
I talked slower with him, yeah. No, it's fine. We had a real good conversation. He agreed with me completely about how they not misted Tyler Vok, but like it shouldn't have been edited the way. He also thought that was a bit of a bad way of doing it, to have, look, Tyler's gone. Look, Vok's gone. Here's Tyler. He agreed with me it should have been like out of shown set months apart, but shown in the same edit and just like eventually line up. He agreed completely. He was kind of disappointed a bit. He thought he couldn't see how no one got his accent from the mask, because you can hear it's him when you've heard him in real life to his mask. Like he has So he was surprised Peel didn't get it sooner.
And Zachary Gibbons says, yeah, I got the idea Pike's chair came during TOS. It did. It came a couple months before the menagerie.
Yeah.
But if he gets tangled up with Section 31 now, who knows what's going to happen, let's say, in 7 years, right before the menagerie. You know what I mean? So he could be pulled in somehow. Chris one puts in $5.
Thank you.
Would it have been better to cast Anson Mount as Robert April instead of Pike? Easier to keep them aboard for future seasons. Easier to keep him aboard in future seasons.
No?
No, because we still got a long time until... Well, not a long time.
Enough time.
8 years? 8 years until the menagerie? Yeah. So...
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
No, I do want to see Robert April, though. That'd be kind of cool, actually.
But April is such a we don't know anything about him. At least there's something to go on with Pike.
Except for the animated series.
Sure. Yeah.
Lizzie Smith puts in £1.99. Knowing Pike now, the worse I feel about his fate. I know. That's the whole thing. We're getting to know the guy, and it's like, I like this guy, but his fate's not bad because he gets to go to Talos and he gets to live out any fantasy he wants with Vina. So I mean, he's fine. Sure. But it is kind of heart-wrenching to kind of know what's in store for the character. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Dude, I love that. I hadn't even considered that. But yeah, I mean, I said to you early on, he was pretty much a blank slate in The Cage. He really was. Not in a bad way, just they didn't put much to him beyond the motivation of that episode. And so yeah, that's giving him really stuff to do.
Fat Produce puts in $2.
Thank you.
At least they use view screens more for communications. Yes. I kind of mentioned that earlier.
Okay, so about
come on, people! Only 35 more likes, and we get to 200. Almost 200 watching.
That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, about the shadowing thing, because people had problems with the shadowing. I love how you said it. Is that Spock was the first original born of Spock and Amanda, Sarek and Amanda, and Cybok gets revealed later on in his life, still young, as being half sibling, coming over in the house. Right? His dad is very pro Vulcan, but it's also a test to the humanity. Can humans and Vulcans live together? His wife completely embraces the Vulcan culture. Good for her. And like they say, pressure to be Vulcan. He's chosen the Vulcan way. Amanda clearly gets on with, not just the daughter factor, but also the, human factor. So obviously that works well. And Spock, I mean, Spock and Sarek, you can imagine would have got on quite well earlier on. Mutual respect. Father, I respect you, even though you're being quite strict. But living with the duality of which side to pick for a long time as a kid, even worse. And so, to have one parent be even more strict and the other one be so much more repressive. Yeah, your sister, who is fully human, who's getting the love, I mean, you want to be yourself. Your primary figures have wanted you to be one version of yourself, but there's this big part of you that's saying, no, I want to be me, full me. And so Burnham, he would look up to her as just an older figure. The intrigue of you're from Earth, like my mum is, but she never talks about it because Vulcan, I don't know, she's forced to be. And so and
my mum really seems to like you, and I want to know why. How can I get that attention from my mom?
Yeah, and maybe if I hang around with you, I'll get the same love because I'm in the same room. It's not like he's looking up to her for intelligence or as a person.
Exactly.
More as you're a human of my age that I can relate to because no one here is a human except my mum, and she's been trained, I guess, to be a certain way.
And I'm half human, so I'm an outcast as well. I get made fun of.
And you lost your parents, and you're an outcast. I mean, imagine how much she was bullied. A fully human student in the Vulcan Science Academy. Are you kidding? You know what I mean? So I can absolutely see it's not in the same I look up to you, Burnham, but it's absolutely in terms of emotions and who he is. Yeah. It actually makes a lot of sense. I hadn't considered it, but
it's natural. Totally... It's natural human behavior. Well, natural human behavior. The very name is racist. Yeah. But yeah.
And so when Burnham then breaks that, not dependency, but she's his emotional tie to that side of him. When she breaks that so dramatically that he has to go back. How can he deal with such a loss, such a lot of maybe hate, maybe resentment? He goes more into himself and be more Vulcan, but he hasn't got he hasn't got that control yet. So yeah, I mean, it makes so much sense. I'm really on board so far. I think we've justified it very well. I hope you all are totally on board with us because
Fat Produce puts in $2.
Thank you.
Love the editing of Burnham and Tyler's comm scene. Yeah, we talked about that. It was very well done.
Very, very well done. Love it.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, so next scene.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. This is a weird scene. Tyler and Laurel go in to meet their baby, and we see very dramatically hung uncle. I'm laughing because it's such a good-looking shot. It's a really graphic, but really good-looking shot. And I was like, ooh, okay. Good shot, though.
We get the whole thing. Yeah, I kidnapped your baby. I need you to turn over the chancellorship to me.
Yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Thoughts?
I didn't write any notes for it, so it wasn't that impressive.
It's cliche. Well, I think the stupidest thing is he put bug drones in his face makeup just in case Tyler smudged the makeup. What?
Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I didn't understand that at first. But
it's like, what? I mean, okay, at least you set it up and you paid it off. It made sense, but it's dumb. And he calls him out saying, well, he heard the conversation with Burnham, so he knows how he's. I mean, he did really rat them out. I mean, that's genuine intercultural espionage, although who could have seen it coming? Everyone. But it was an interesting escalation. It was like, wow, this is another twist, and it is very political. Again, this whole Klingon stuff was political. It was like it was more Klingon-y. It wasn't just hunt, kill, death, stab, racism, cut, kill. Although little, oh no, okay, different thing. Yeah. So yeah, baby kidnap. Moving on.
Yeah, and eavesdropping face paint was kind of stupid. Zachary Gibbons says like it's stupid to me, and I totally agree.
That sounds even better.
Anyway, next scene, Sylvia and Michael
Bill
have
Barkley.
a heart-to-heart.
By the way, no mention of Kalis and Disco. Nope, mentioned in this episode. Specifically mentioned.
Kailash.
And multiple times, to be fair, actually.
Yes. They don't call him Kailash, though. It's Kailash.
Yes. And Danny Rowe, thanks guys for giving me a fair review of Discovery. There are a lot of haters out there. I love that you pick out the good and the bad. Boo!
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's why we're here.
And just to note, do you like the episode now more than when you started, do you think? Now we're breaking it down and enjoying certain things and complaining about certain things?
I didn't hate the episode to start with. What? I just disliked it more than episode 2 because I was such a high with episode 2 feeling like Star Trek that this one just falls back into the season 1 Discovery tropes of too much, too disjointed, too all over the place.
Do you like it any more, do you think?
I didn't hate it. Maybe.
I think I'll probably like it a little bit less, thanks for your comments, but I think we're equaling out a little bit.
Yes. All right, so the next scene is Sylvia and Michael have a good heart-to-heart. I really like this scene. Mm-hmm. The one thing I didn't like was when Michael sits up and says, I really need a problem I can solve because I've failed at everything else, and I just need to feel like I'm smart again.
No, I thought it was fine. She's been taught like a Vulcan. Vulcans are problem-solving creatures. I thought it was totally fine.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a great scene, figuring out, she doesn't understand what tears are. Oh, must be an alien, but the way that Tilly was dealing with it, like, has her yipping over in the corner, and she's like, I think I'm going crazy, and just ignoring her and talking to Michael. I thought that was really good. I thought she was going to shut up and just let it go on for longer, but no, she got right to the point, which I appreciated. So that was good.
Yeah,
I love the final line. You don't need sickbay, you need Stamets.
Yeah. I like how they didn't let her be too badgering. They really could have.
Dale Stafford says, doesn't Taylor wash his hands? Yes, he tries, but it won't come off his hands. They make a point of pointing that out, where you see him wash his hands and it's not coming off.
You can still sense something's there, is the implication. Yeah, totally fine. It was all, like I said, it was well set up and well, no problem at all. Yeah, Tilly's acting in this is great. It's very unlike her character, which I thought was kind of nice. And the puzzle was a bit simple of what those things are on your eyes. Is a very 1, 2, 3 solved, but it was very like, oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, fine.
Mm-hmm.
Although Burnham was a little bit too smug. A bit too smug.
Really? That never happens ever.
A bit too smug. She wasn't very concerned about her friend. If you play the scene, it's like she's more like, "Hey, I helped. I'm so awesome." I mean, it's a small distinction, but she wasn't like ever really that worried for her. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we have
next scene.
a shot, one of those very odd, completely sidewards. That's the floor, guys. That's the floor. In reality, this perspective should look like this. But they did it 3/4 to show the baby and then go. I mean, I like these angles. I think they were fun. You're right, too many of them, but I liked them for the most part. Then we get the.
I didn't take a lot of. Go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead.
I didn't take a lot of notes for this scene. Just the fight was very Game of Thrones. Star Trek, a lot of blood, and we got pink blood and red blood. The first one was a pink blood, and Sylvia says, "Was that pink blood I saw?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then 2 seconds later, "Was that red blood I saw?" "Yep." So, in the same scene, they're trying to fix a continuity error, which wasn't really an error, but it was from Star Trek 6. The reason they had to do pink blood instead of red blood was to lower the rating on the film, so they made it pink. And then every other time we see Klingon blood in the series, it's red. Ugh. Anyway, fixed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Many different kinds of Klingons.
Yeah, apparently so. I liked / didn't like the fact that there's little documents, electronic document that just a thumbprint can sign over the entire empire. It's like such a, it's a modernistic.
Especially in the Klingon Empire, how many fingers got cut off to do that? Probably a lot.
But you can
while
imagine
they sleep or after they're dead.
But since she only became Chancellor because she threatened the entire empire, you know, I don't think anyone would care necessarily if you just killed her. Although I mean, like, this is where the honor factor, like, he took the sun, but there is, like, it's all a bit of a weird one, because that's still an interesting tactic when, if you genuinely believe that she's being controlled by Tyler, being controlled by the Federation, you know what I mean? There is genuine levels to this Klingon stuff. It's not as one-dimensional as Season 1 was. It's still not great, but it's, again, all this stuff is still, for me, better than Season 1. And that's the only distinction. It's not like Great Trek or Great Klingons, but it's better than Season 1. So they know they did worse. They're improving. That's all you need. That's all they need to do for the most part is just get better. Just better, quicker is even better. But yeah, this fight was weird because, yeah, it was very... I didn't know... I mean, you didn't know what was happening, but it was very disjointed. I didn't feel like Tyler ever should have had an advantage because he's been gently, you know, changed to be weaker.
Yeah.
Yes, Stuart?
Centurion Frager says Klingon blood should be canon pink. No, it shouldn't. Because it was canon red before it was pink for the movie. And the only reason it changed the color for the movie was because of the rating. So the pink was actually wrong, but they make a big deal out of it in the movie. So therefore it is kind of canon, but the other canon all cancels that out. That's one of those. But now they've kind of explained it with Discovery, which is weird. Discovery fixing canon for a change or trying to incorporate it.
Adam Boots.
Yeah, we get the... Oh, yes. Adam Boots puts another super chat down, £2. Thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you.
I hate random slowdowns in fights. Just waste time. Yes. Well, they need to fill out the time.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for the lightsaber.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the lightsaber, and it turns out to be like a taser.
Yes. Yeah, this was not a good fight, but I mean, they're all in heavy makeups, they can't see properly. It's in dark rooms, they can't see properly. And I said this in our review, Batleths are very poorly designed in Discovery. They're redesigned to be ceremonial, but they're sort of stuck with them. And if you notice the battle, pretty much at no point do they actually have a Batleth fight bit. It's always the dudes with the big stick knife things or like hand knives. It's never actually Batleths. And the one time we see a Batleth, guess what happens, Stuart? I mean, you saw it, but let me remind you. So the Batleth guy goes to attack Tyler, who then like puts himself in the Batleth safely, stabs the guy, and then the guy dies. And it's like, right. So the Batleth had a safety zone that you can get like nestled in. Like that was, they realized that. Like, the choreographer was like, oh, we can't use these. Yeah. So yeah, not a very good fight for sure. Although I like the CGI blood spreads; they were at least kind of like fun to see. And then yeah, this sun taser. It's like, oh, why didn't you do that at the start? Like, the whole point where Lorel says at the start, oh, you're just going to kill us anyway, so I'm going to attack you first. It's like, well, why didn't he just stun them first and then do the blood? Why was he ever, like, yeah, he's not going to let them live. And, yeah, why is he talking to them then? And, yeah, if he can stun them both instantly, why doesn't he? It's like you beat the minions to go to the boss fight. When the boss just stands, which literally the shot, he stands there and watches, whereas he could be doing, he's letting his people die. Although if you notice, the second squad of people come in, it's the same squad of people. It's the same actors. Like the same dude with the weird goatee in the head. It's the exact same guy in the start of the scene that gets killed, and then second half of the scene. Like either he doesn't get killed in the first half, but I'm pretty sure he gets stabbed. But they just because you never pay attention enough. It's like that's the same 4 actors again. I think. Yeah. And then stunning, and then makes him fake sign because it's that easy, and it electrifies. Now he's officially Chancellor of the Empire. Moo-ha-ha.
Until the magical, yeah. Anyway, she shows up and kills.
What happens
I don't know.
There, Stuart?
I have no idea, man. She comes in, kills a bunch of people, and then bubble guns the guy, and then de-stuns them. And look, I'm Giorgio, and yeah. Section 31 to the rescue, as I wrote down.
This was a bit weird. Going to be honest with you, Stuart.
Please do. That's what we do.
Oh, I like the gormless look, because there's a shot in the images where there's 2 Klingons, and you can tell they're the lower, because in previous behind-the-scenes videos, they show Klingons that are the background extras that have basically no movement. It's all one piece and just the mouth, and you can see their faces, like they're clearly low-end background extras that have like no movement interface, and so they're like, it's like, it's like, wow. It's awful. If you actually look at it for a second, it's like, wow, that's what you went with, guys. They only made new
I don't know
masks.
why. I don't know why Giorgio just didn't kill the other guy. She instead wanted, like, Lorel just immediately just stabs him, pops the bubble, and apparently that disemboweled him too for somehow.
It's a big stabby knife. That's fine.
Yeah, but not where she stabbed him. It just didn't make much sense to see the shot later. But anyway, 200 rubles.
Oh, thank you.
Was it beaming down or decloaking? I think it was decloaking.
I thought it was going through the wall. Like, that's the thing. The effect is so strange.
Yeah.
I don't know.
She used a spore transporter. So the nitpicking nerd.
That's not even unrealistic, even.
It kind of looked like it, too, to be honest.
Although, what a weird thing to beam down, transport down, any other thing, and then have little drones just shoot them. It's like, that's your epic plan. You're letting drones shoot them. Well, wouldn't it be more kick-ass just comes and goes, pew, 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 done. Like, just drones do it. Why was that picked in the script? I guess it's not Federation weapon signatures, man. But then she disintegrates them all. It's a really powerful drone then. Hey, wasn't there a whole thing in the first episode about that other engineer that built these really amazing drones that have weapons that can disintegrate, and she was an amazing engineer. Yes. And now there's even smaller ones that can do even more. Sort of. I guess Section 31.
She got scooped off Discovery by Section 31. She's on that ship. They're adding everybody to their ranks.
Yeah.
She phased through the wall like Pegasus, says Jeff Jacobs. Yeah. Anyway, so this is interesting how Section 31 needs the Klingon Empire to be stable, so they need to.
Although before you say that, the de-stunning is stupid. That's dumb. Really dumb. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Needs her to maintain the Chancellor's seat. And she goes, as long as you have Tyler by your side, they're going to think that he's influencing you and you're only his mouthpiece, because their tiny male brains won't be able to understand. And I was like, ugh. I just opened up the internet for a whole bunch of complaining. But anyway, she also says, before she says that, though, she says that she's not the Emperor. She is the esteemed Captain Giorgio, now Starfleet security consultant. Then she says about the tiny male brains.
Now, I'll be honest, I actually missed the tiny male brain the first time and the second time until you mentioned our review. So I never got that. I like nitpicking.
I picked it up the first time.
I'll let nitpicking nerd. Chancellor Lorel is the reason women are not allowed in the High Council later. We say that.
Yes.
Because the Klingons
we talked about that.
aren't actually sexist. That's not how they've been done. There's always a reason. It's about honor. If a female can beat up somebody and win an honorable fight, a Klingon's going to think she's great and honorable. There's not, whereas, I like Lorel being so radical by the end. I mean, she's a follower of Takuma. He was a radical terrorist. I wanted to destroy the Federation and everyone around me. Like, he's awful. He was an awful, racist, awful people. So she's still a follower of him. She's, my lord, want to do this. Like, so yeah, she's a, oh yeah, as a, by Jaws. And
yeah, Austin Vieira says, as it Boer, ? Well, yeah, she was the daughter of the High Chancellor on location when he got assassinated. So, but if you watch TNG, the Duras sisters couldn't be on the High Council. It's even said in that episode, women are not allowed on the High Council. That's why they have the little Duras kid running around.
Although, to be fair,
kind of their puppet.
You could probably argue that the High Council is different to the Chancellor. Like, you could probably argue that in a small distinction. And if it's also the Chancellor's daughter, so I think you could argue that is just about...
and Zachary Gibbons says, well, to be fair, this was prior to Chancellor Azit Boer. Yeah. So something could have happened between... I don't know. Because it leads up to TNG where they're not allowed on the council. So she could still be allowed. Maybe that rule hasn't come through yet. Yeah. Who knows?
There's time in between. But I don't think that they're sexist. I mean, I don't see that as being the Klingon way. I mean, in DS9 especially, you see Klingon warriors everywhere. Like, it's not a thing. Multiple crews, multiple people. But yeah, I didn't catch that "men are stupid" line. I mean, she's the Empress. She's the Hitler of the Mirror Universe. So she's allowed to say whatever she wants in such a dickish way. Who cares? But it's like, really? I mean, okay, that's a bit mean. I don't think we'd normally say women were small-brained and only good in the kitchen. I think that's pretty much dead now. We wouldn't say that.
No.
Although interestingly said,
say it in Discovery.
The entire episode is about her being a mother, which is them using her mother side and defining her by her woman, which is weirdly like lessening of the character, and yet they're saying men are stupid, but defining them as being men because they're men. So, see, I don't think either of us think on those levels. So it's weird that they go one way and yet also do. It's not about that, guys. Calm down.
Anyway, Tyler's going to be a liability. So's the baby. They have to go. They're not giving her a choice. So.
Now,
next scene.
I would assume that if Lorel said no, it's like, I know she can see the greater reason, but like, she's the Chancellor of the Klingon Empire. So Section 31 is what, controlling the Empire now? Like, in the sense of, if they can just actively demand something, it's that easy? I know Lorel knows her. She knows that she was the big bad of the last season, in a sense. But I assume there'd be something else there to that scene. Like, I won't do this, or give a real, it seemed a bit strange to me that it was like, oh yeah, that's fine. Little bit. I don't know. Mm. And again, I said in the review, it's weird that Tyler left straight away. He should have been there on Cronus for 4 episodes leading up to his leaving, because all of a sudden he's fine to leave, and in a few episodes he'll be with Burnham, he'll be fine again. He just doubled down on his love for them and wanted to stay and being a father. Now instantly he's being forced to go and not fighting it and all these, like, why can't he get reconstruction surgery and pretend to be different?
On a positive note though, 200 likes, so Jeff owes us $5 because he said so.
You're awesome.
But yes, it is odd that he leaves right away. Next scene, because we're coming up on 2 hours and I want to get going soon.
I know you do.
Let's finish this up. Thanks to Burnham's insight, says Saru, we figured out what's wrong with Tilly. That line bothers me to no end.
Didn't even hear
Ryan Gustafson puts in $34.99 Canadian. Thank you very much.
You.
Does the Section 31 ship have a decloaking device? It wouldn't surprise me if they had been using cloaks for centuries up to DS9 when Sloane just appeared in Bashir's quarters. Probably showed up on a cloak ship. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure we're going to see it has like a camouflage technology. But we're going to get there when we talk about the ship.
But yes,
and Jeff Jacobs puts in his $5 and says, "Nice job, people! 200 likes. We appreciate it." There you go.
We do. Thank you. And thanks for everyone for viewing. This is a really great turnout. I'm having a lot of fun. I think this is these things are worth dissecting because it is not either like, hate, love, dislike. every scene is on its own merits. You know, I hate people saying it's the worst thing ever. It's the worst episode, the best episode. Like, well, bits are good or bad. I mean, we're doing these dissections for you to actually break it down. We're giving reasons and analysing, and, you know, it's all variable. But yeah. Spores,
anyway.
Stuart. There's a massive fungus in her chest. Holy, that's a big fungus.
Well, look at her chest. It's a big chest. Since it was more in her back, I think, though. It was more in her back. I love how she's wondering about getting back in the command training program, and Saru was like, I think the captain has a sense of humor, and he's very fond of you. So, yeah. But yeah, she's hosting a fungal organism, a multi-dimensional fungal parasite, to be exact. This could possibly hurt. Ghostbuster tech, we're going to pull that out of you without you giving them any kind of chance to protest, and throw it in the air and then put a force field around it, and we're going to see it in another episode.
It was a bit quick, wasn't it? It's like, yep.
It was very quick. That's why I think these scenes should have been in another episode. They felt forced into this episode.
Yeah. And this is quite a big thing to happen, really. But like they showed us the spore so quickly, it's like, oh yeah, plot thread, tick. It's very like matter of fact.
Earlier on the bridge where her friend was saying, you know, where's the other captain? The blonde one, the whiter one. Yeah. The shorter one. I'm like, they're talking about Stamets. Me and Sylvia are both like, it's Stamets.
Which I didn't get, but that's okay.
And she's like, yeah, there he is. I thought this is where he flies the ship from, this room. It's like, yeah. So yeah, anyway, that was a nice time. I want to see more of Stamets coming up. I'm kind of missing Stamets, to be honest. I do like his character, so I want to see more of him.
He has no part in the current narrative, really. You know, his whole focus is Spore, and the Spores are, well, now there's more Spore stuff, but I was surprised in the bridge stuff. The fake lady was saying, or the Spore lady was saying, oh, I want to talk to him. But in this scene, he's like, he's the enemy. It's a weird like shift of like, it goes from, I want to talk to him, my plan is to talk to him and he can help, and then it suddenly goes like, I hate him, he's my enemy, let's talk about this, Tilly, let's not do this. It's like, I wish they just said, so why?
Well, of course she's going to say that. If she's on the bridge, he's not there, she's like, I want to see this guy, I want to talk to him. She's not going to say, I want to kill him, bring me to him. She's going to say, I want to talk to him, I want to, you know what I mean? So now that he's there, But we don't know what the spore fungus person wants. What do you think it wants? Because it called out Stamets specifically. So obviously spore drive related. It's obviously my sim network related. It's obviously mirror related. What do you think it wants or not wants? I don't know. Maybe she has a message for him from Hugh.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's Hugh anymore. I think I think Hugh's not the spore. But this might be a way.
No, but I might have a message from Hugh or something. That's why it's looking for Stamets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
kind of like the idea that it might be that, you know, he had so much influence. So, you know, obviously mirror him and him in the Spore network. So this is a creature of the Spore network. Yes.
Yeah. Eric says, why is Saru suddenly wearing a holstered phaser? Because they're dealing with something unknown inside of Tilly.
I did notice that he's wearing it because he needs it in the next scene. That's the only reason. It doesn't fit. Like, you have security teams.
It does, though. If there's something inside of her that could be hostile or alien, as Burnham assumed.
It could just be a germ. Like, a phaser will not protect you against every other form of life.
Yeah, but it could be a hostile organism as well, or it could
which
be
you're going to shoot out of her. Like, there's no reason to think
but if it comes out of her, you go shoot it.
But there's no reason
to think it doesn't make sense to not have a phaser with you. It doesn't make sense.
But
if you're going to do something that's unknown... I'm going to disagree with you.
Okay, put it this way, though. Riker wouldn't walk in with a phaser on his belt. He'd have a security team.
But that's a different time. That's TNG.
But this is also Saru, the coward, sort of. Like, I agree. He had to because he had to have it. Because they wanted Saru in another scene. It should have been a security team. He should have had a scanner. He's a scientist. And here he is. I've got the gun. Yeah, I'm going to shoot the thing that might come out of her.
No, I don't have a problem with it at all.
Just because the next scene, he needed a phaser. Need a phaser? Yeah, so he got a phaser. Okay.
Don't agree.
And that's good. Although, what do you think of we can make a mid-room ball hologram force field? It's pretty advanced.
Yeah, I thought that too. I thought, wow, that's advanced tech for TOS, but okay.
Because that would stop every enemy ever. You put them in a force field ball. Like, done. Imagine TNG. Computer, force field ball. Win. You know.
Yeah. Next scene of the closeout an interesting shot again. I hate these shots, but anyway.
This one was
I had a
was
child
more
walking with a
obnoxious.
father. And you notice that the hair or the hairpiece she's wearing is very reminiscent of the hairstyles of the Klingons from the JJ universe, the original concept. Had like a layered, almost scaly look to them.
I don't, but good catch. Cool.
Yeah, well, it's. I thought it was a tie-in specifically to that, but anyway, here she's like, blah blah blah. I killed them. Yay. I'm only going to give birth once. You are now all my children. Call me mother.
That was weird. Gonna be honest.
I thought she was going to say call me emperor or call me empress or something, but not mother. Just an odd choice. But
the framing felt like a Palpatine, like, you know, I have lost all of the deep dark things I care about, so now it's not a Klingon empire. I mean, it is, but I'm no longer your chancellor. I'm your emperor. Yeah, ha 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 ha. That's what I thought it was gonna be. You know.
Mhm.
What do you think when she actually pulled? I mean, obviously, he wasn't dead, but she pulled out a pretty great prosthetic mock-up of his head. It probably was CGI, to be fair.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's not real.
Yeah.
Next.
But what do you think?
Because we know it's not. Because we see Tyler later. So, way to screw that up, guys, with your trailers for season 2. We see him on the bridge talking to Pike, for Christ's sake. So, it's obviously not him.
Yes. Well, this one had an interesting point. Daenerys Targaryen reference. How she also cuts the head off her enemies sometimes, which is true.
I didn't know that.
That's actually
I don't watch Game of Thrones.
And also Mother of Dragons. That's actually interesting as a reference. Bit on the head if that's. You scare me, Cockings. Oh, thanks.
And this show is not for kids.
Are you
This
kidding?
Is not for kids.
Have you seen Discovery? It's not for kids.
Yeah, Stafford's like, yeah.
But yeah, the
baby's head looked real, but
that was dramatic. I was genuinely like, oh, okay. I mean, it was never focused on until she's holding it at the end, and that's a different context. But I was like, oh, you actually went there. But these are the Klingons, you know, Klingons to Klingon Council. The whole point is to show strength. I mean, she didn't kill it. Tyler did. That was the whole point of the scene. But yeah, real dramatic.
Fat produce, $2. # palming baby heads. Nice.
But one bit
morbid, but okay.
One bit of credit though, along with the thing. If you look now at the still on the screen, in that scene and several times earlier, we see a Klingon in the High Council chamber with an almost identical TNG uniform. So we were contemplating in a previous review that might be the basis of the KDF uniform because hey, that's a good-looking version of the uniform, and a lady with a really pointy face with long hair, sort of wearing more like Jafar armor from Continuum. But yeah, good. I mean, that's basically. I mean, you know, the makeup artist, the costume grabber, thought, "Oh, cool! I'm making the TNG uniform again," because it's not like it's a mistake or accident, is it? It's like, oh, make a TNG uniform mostly. So that was nice.
Yeah. And then the reveal of the Section 31 ship. With some like decloaking camouflage kind of pixelization on it.
And you can see I've actually
flipped these. It's a cool looking ship. Love the articulation of the nacelles.
Oh, wait,
but it does have a very...
Sorry.
It does have a very warp slutty kind of feel to it.
Yes. It comes out the sun. Well, I think the content's a bit weird here because it implies that they're coming away from Kronos. Like, it's been stealth around Kronos. That's what you're right, the pixelation is. Actually, which is quite a cool effect. Very simple but cool. But then they say we're at the Borath planet, but then they walk away at the end. So why are they in a... I guess they're trying to be stealthy above in orbit of Borath before they beam it down, I guess. But, I don't know. A little bit of a weird time jump.
Bill Barkley says a kids show on a paid-to-view channel. Well, in the UK, it's on Netflix. Well, here it's on network television at 8 o'clock. So, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, their audience is the people they get paid to watch it is the Americans in America with the paid service. That's the primary audience. It's where they get the funding for the show. So there's a reason why all of their promotional material is region locked, because they really only care about America. That's the fundamentals. So in that context, a primary context, yes, I mean, no children's are paying for it. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm just gonna flip these now, guys, because we do know the correct way around. And does it change the feel when you flip it the right way around? a little bit, because it actually has underslunged feel, and then they start to pop out, and it looks pretty cool. Them both locked in. It's very, like I said, Romulan in the original kind of up-and-coming video, but it's neat.
Actually, with them locked all the way in, tucked in, they look like an Andor class.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite ships. So
unfoils, and then opens up its other wing parts, and has a nice shuttle bay and warp drive, and there you go. We'll talk about it in a video that we filmed, so tune in for that. But it's definitely interesting. And we see the inside, which for me looks like a redress of the Shinjo bridge, because we know there's a 2-floor setup to allow them to have a green screen on the floor. So I think they took the bare bones of the top, they built the bottom, and they combined it. That's my vote, because it's very similar to Shinjo, which is good and bad. It looks like the era, but it's also meant to be a really advanced ship. But it looks really basic for the time, given the fact that Discovery's already pushed that aesthetic forward well beyond TOS. It's kind of hard to, how do you get more advanced than really advanced, already breaking the canon? It's like, this is a bit tricky.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky.
Another 600 ruble super chat. Thank you very much.
Very kind as always.
Section 31 ship. At first I thought it was a very strange shuttlecraft, and then I've seen the bridge with multiple decks. So strange, probably designed by some mud genius. You can tell it's a smaller ship by we talk about this in a future episode coming up with the ship by the size of the windows and the airlock and stuff. It's not huge by any means. So
and those windows are porthole windows, not like full windows you associate. Because normally on the Enterprise D, those windows are like the windows in crew quarters, which are big windows. It's a different sort of scale. It's more NXy in terms of the scale. And we see the inside of the ship. They take the child to Boreth, I believe is what it's called, the monk planet that Worf went to, which is a nice reference to live out his days as a monk.
I gotta say, there's kind of an Giorgio-like thing where she's like, look at the baby for a second, and then Tyler looks at her and she looks away. Kind of off for her character, considering in the last scene she just said, that thing, you should have somebody look after it for you because they just get in the way. That's what I had done with mine. It's like, really? And then you do the oh no, I didn't do that.
I'll be honest with you, I didn't see that as that. I saw her as gonna make a snide comment, but then thought twice and didn't. That's why I read
I didn't see that at all.
That's fine. I'm just saying I wait for that for the live.
I hate to tell you that you're wrong, but you're wrong.
Okay. No, you love to tell me I'm wrong.
I do.
But yeah, this ship, Tyler's beard getting bigger, and then Superjet.
Yes. Daniel Hentz puts in 2 francs. Is there not even one shot of the Discovery in episode 3? No, there is not. And Brett Baru. Brett, hey, how's it going?
Brett.
$2. Looks like a seaplane, but I like it. Future tech. ? It could have future tech. It's Section 31. They take what they want from every species they encounter, and who knows, they might have some time travel tech as well. Wouldn't surprise me in the least. Yes. I love how she carries her comm badge around, though. Like, hey, I'm standing beside you. Oh, look, I got a comm badge. It's like, really? You had that in your hand the whole time? Or is it in your pocket?
Well, we know that the other Section 31 guy brought a little baggie with it in. So, I mean, that's part of their recruiting technique. And I love it. He calls out straight, Section 31? I've never seen a black badge. It's like, Jesus. What? Were they briefed by the Klingons? Like, not even 1 second.
Smedley Do-Right says that guy looks familiar. Was he in Star Trek Discovery before? Yes, he was in the deleted scene. He's the one that gave her the badge to bring her into Section 31.
Great that he's a handler, and because he was obviously picked very specifically for that. So I can buy he's trusted to handle her. And
I love how the monks are going to raise the baby to worship Kalis and not leave the monastery, and nobody will. And at the end, they say that they like
Stuart,
Tyler's skill set.
Died. Your signal died. Sorry. Oh. Sorry. No, you can talk now. You're fine. It's not my fault.
Oh, all right. What was the last thing you heard?
Nothing of what you just said. Your whole last thing about something.
The whole thing is. I doubt that very much.
Your entire 2 hours.
Jump off that point.
Sorry.
So the baby's being raised by the monks. Won't be able to leave the monastery. He's going to be know all about Kalas and all that. Kailash, sorry. And even the parents won't be able to go back in to see the baby. So it's going to have a life there, whatever. And then this guy here, he's like, we really like Tyler's skill set. Misfits have merit, is what. Well, that was a conversation earlier, but so he says, you better start working on your recruitment speech to Giorgio, because they want to get Tyler into Section 31, and Tyler would be a good fit for Section 31, to be honest. So that was cool.
Yeah, and it ends on a abrupt. He's in. Dum. Okay.
Yeah, that was a really abrupt ending, to be honest.
Did you get the next episode on to trailer this time?
Nope, never do.
Great music on this one. I was really like, oh, that's snazzy music. So I got to go to Lou right now. Oh, what?
So the one thing we didn't mention was the fact that they kind of took our advice, and the speeches in English are much more emotional, much more. You can tell like they put more emphasis into it. Klingon doesn't work, and the speech she does starts Klingon. The subtitles are English, and they transfer to Klingon subtitles, and then her speech changes to English. That was amazingly done.
Yep.
And great idea, because it's more impactful when they can deliver the lines and do it properly.
Because, when they hired her, right, it was to act. Call me crazy. And so...
You're crazy.
Okay. So let her act. And I know that I talked to Mary while she was filming episode 7, I believe, and she called out that the mask is completely different, and you can see it's much more refined, a lot more movement, a lot thinner. And so, yes, you can have a lot more. And it's still not, amazing, but it's still a level above. She's not fighting all of the material just to say words. It's much more like talking. It's still a problem compared to, everyone else in the Klingon universe of every other show. I mean, the Duras, they can... look at Generations, the little micro-expressions they can put on their cheeks. These Klingons just can't do. Just can't. Gone. Flat out can't. Which is a bit of a shame. But, hey, every season we'll see less and less makeup. It takes 5 years for them to whatever. So I'm going to put this on the D7. I need to go to Lou, but I'll let you talk to chat for a few minutes. Well, for a minute. I'll come back in a second. What?
Good analysis. What do you think of the episode 1 being the worst? As I said in my our earlier review that we released earlier today, I gave it like a 6.5, 7 at the most. Samuel gave it like a 8, 8.5. Sean O'Brien, Super Chats, thank you very much. Section 31 stuff is setting up for the new show they announced. Yeah, but that's not going to be for a while, because now they've announced that they're not sure when that's coming out. So, but yes, it's absolutely a lead into that, which would be fine. Even though I don't like her character or her acting, but that's okay. It's a solid 5. Stories that went all over the place. Everybody runs to Michael. It's Amanda, Tilly, Tyler seems like a setback, frankly, and tech that doesn't fit. Yeah, I agree. After the strong showing of episode 2, I was kind of on a high for this one, and it just kind of let me down a little bit. So, are there more short treks happening? Not anytime soon, probably between seasons. 5 years of makeup production, and we will have TOS Klingons, maybe. Hopefully a lot of space kung fu. Okay. 6 out of 10. Some stuff that broke this episode for me. Yes. Very open episode with lots of ends to tie up. However, I liked it. Well, Joseph, that being said, that this is all going to lead into other episodes. It's all going to be, because we've seen the trailer for season 2, and there's like a venom-like creature. That's the thing that they pull out of Tilly that takes over part of the ship. So I'm glad he's back now.
Did I miss anything awesome?
No.
Okay.
Literally nothing. Just talking about some of the comments.
So your final thoughts on the episode, Stuart. I'm sure you just did, but I didn't hear. But a final summary of the episode.
That's exactly what I just did, but that's okay. Yeah, just like I said, left episode 2 on a high. Expected a little bit more. This one was kind of disappointed, and probably would give it a 6.5 or a 7 at the most, because it just let me down a little bit. So, but it was still good. It had some great elements and some good storytelling. So, you know.
And yeah, my mouth is pretty small. Yeah, and it's amazing the amount of apparent. I mean, I've been told by people the amount of hate this episode is getting. Like I say, for me, last episode was good, but didn't quite connect with me. It was too simple. Didn't quite, nothing really happened per se. Didn't like the faith stuff as much. This one was more political, more interesting, less Trek, but it was, storylines. It was, giving us new things of new things. So I certainly liked it quite a bit. It's all about setups. The D7 was great. The Klingon stuff I enjoyed. So I liked it quite a bit. I'm surprised that people didn't like it as much as they did, and some people say it's the worst episode of Discovery.
Sure, this is gonna
really.
Sure, people are going to look at this differently after the season's played out and we go back to rewatch it because it's going to tie in with stuff from later episodes. So I'm sure it'll be fine. But as of right now, it felt a little disjointed and kind of chaotic for me. So.
Well, that's yeah. Again, the Tilly stuff just didn't need to. If it, we said early last season, it should have been main storyline and cut to Klingons. See both politics at the same time. But the Tilly stuff kind of ruined it with, like, extra,
Yeah. 400 rubles. Wow.
Thank you.
There are a lot of scenes with electric guitar music in this episode. Did not expect that. By the way, Orville was so good this week. Music ship flybys. The ship flybys were awesome.
Well, excited to see it.
I'm not really one for romantic ones, but whatever.
Oh.
Chive Bacon puts in $4.99.
Hey. Hi, Chive.
Call Me Mother has to be the lamest thing I've ever heard on Trek. Oh, that... I'd have to think about that, but it's up there. It's in the top 10 for sure. Maybe top 5.
Wasn't great. I like the I got this vibe too. Although I liked the guitar riff for the fight. I actually quite liked that. But yeah, what's up the Darth Maul fight? Yeah, what's up the Darth Maul fight scene? The two of them walking on the guy with the double stun taser. It felt exactly like that moment in Darth Maul's Confidential. I loved that. I was like, oh, it's cheeky.
Yeah.
Cheeky. But yeah, I give it a solid. I mean, again, I got bitched at. People don't like to see the clearing through the trees sometimes. I said I like this episode in our episode, and they said, "Are you blind?" And I'm like, well, it's good for Discovery, average for Trek. Like, remember season 1, episode 3, plot holes galore, bad character moments, bad character beats, discontinuity, bad technology. Like, it was all bad. You know what I mean? Like, those episodes were just bad upon bad. There aren't really plot holes in this episode. There isn't really any bad dialogue specifically, except like Mother. Like, it was a solid episode. You know what I mean? And it's definitely one that when you watch the D7 appearance later, it's like, damn, that was a good setup. And you see Tyler, it's good. I liked it, and I think the Klingons, again, in comparison to season 1, they were more three-dimensional. They were still worse than TNG Klingons, DS9 Klingons, even Enterprise Klingons, I'd still say, personally. Even if Enterprise Klingons were more like chaotic war. But at least they're on the right track, This episode is the classic, we know we made a mistake. We're trying to fix it. Burnham's less amazing, somewhat. We're getting secondary characters. People like Tilly, we're giving more Tilly, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I like it. Well, you can go. I want $20 more in super chats before I can end. Because we've got such a good audience right now. If anyone's interested in me staying for a few minutes to say hi and bye, I'm open to staying on for a few more minutes. I'm still awake. And Stuart has so many chats just by himself. So if you want me to stay on for a few seconds, I can. While Stuart goes and eats dinner, to try and get those. Aw, Darius Patterson. No, he's great. Stuart. I'll see you next week, I guess.
Yes. I'm sure there'll be some kind of live this weekend.
It's true.
So stay tuned.
Yay! And we've got episodes coming out Saturday and Sunday. We've got episodes coming out Monday, Tuesday probably. And we'll do live as well around that as well. Hopefully fun for the whole family. And there we go.
All right, well, I'll go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. I will do some kind of live this weekend. And, yeah.
And nice. All right. So until next time, guys, here's Captain Foley.
I am. And I will be next time, too.
You will. Bye, Stuart. Bye. And then I'm going to jump on in my this, and then this. And let me put behind everything. That's too far. Still too far. And there I am. So guys, a few minutes of Q&A. If you guys want to talk to me about anything. Like I say, $20 a super chat and I can go. That's my... But such a good evening. Oh, $10 already. That's amazing. Such a good little chat. Really enjoyed it with you guys. Like I said, I was interested to see what Stuart thought of the episode and to try and break it down because I enjoyed it quite a lot. Not sure why I enjoyed it a lot more than Stuart, but I did. And so yeah, any questions from me, any super chats? This is your chance to talk to me. And then I'll go in a few minutes and go back to some other work. But thank you for great video breakdown. Thanks so much. Don't Show Enterprise was good. Got better. And Squandra Course. Nice. $10. Really amazing. Thank you. Really appreciate you guys keeping the Trek conversation going. Also, congrats to Samuel on releasing Temporal Anomaly. Woo! Go watch it if you already haven't. Oh, good point. Guys, have you seen Temporal Anomaly? That's a good point. I mean, has anyone here seen Temporal Anomaly? If you have, it's awesome. Very proud of that. I guess I can talk about that for a few seconds. It's my own personal fan film. And it's got the Enterprise E, it's got the Enterprise NX-01, it's got all the fun stuff. And I might as well be a little bit cheeky and play it in the background. Because I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. That is a wrong button. That is a wrong button. Now you're seeing... I bet Stuart's still watching as well. And he's like, what is this Muppet doing? Vamp. I can't vamp because it's just me this time. That's where you can find it. Power 5 through fan films. And this is brand new. Came out yesterday. And I can keep talking while it does stuff. I'll turn off this. Look, it's Enterprise E. How cool is that? Oh, I need that though. Yes, excellent. Andrew Steele, that's episode 2. The Klingon section 31 was very Shakespearean. I agree. Thanks, Mike. I'm not still in Canada. Are there any real Klingons, TOS or TMP in the show? Hopefully soon. Oh, someone says 250 likes and I'll get $5 more. So please do. That'd be fun. Quick, someone give him $10 so I can go. Yes. Oh, this is the worst episode by far. A huge letdown from the previous 2. I disagree. They're all very different. Trekyards, Temporal was awesome. It lacked Captain Foley though, just like this live stream now. Thanks, Jeff. Yes, Discord link from Commander Kong's fan film. Discord link? What do you mean? How would I put on Discord? I don't know. Very happy for you, Commander. Thank you so much. Hell of a road. Sam, what was the most challenging thing making a fan film? Making the film. Because it took so long. No, it was challenging. Oops, it was challenging because it's so intricate. There's dozens of sets. There's dozens of background plates. It's very complicated, very intricate, and so just the massive process of putting it all together was. But that's where the awesome ambition comes from. You know, is there a paywall for Temporal Anomaly? No, go watch it now. Dale, Temporal Anomaly is out. Awesome. I know what I'm doing later tonight. Yes, go have a look. Story's great, and yes, we're doing a live for Temporal Anomaly as well. Can I watch it on my Roku, Jill? If you can go onto YouTube, then please do. Do not Discord, Patreon need coffee. What was the question? Is it on my Patreon? I don't know. I haven't got a Patreon for Trek. Just search Temporal Anomaly, Star Trek Temporal Anomaly, or Temporal Anomaly Star Trek fan film on YouTube, and you can enjoy it. Everyone should watch it. Please do. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Square Course. Appreciate that. Jill, hey, 8.75 is not too bad. That's a little bit higher than I am. Not too bad. Bloody brilliant. I'm very proud. Did a lot of work on that project. I've done so much work on that project. When a fan films about the actual franchise. Well, I'm a fan making it. It does help. Bill Barkley, will we be doing more fan films? Yes. I'm actually making one called Convergence, a Star Trek fan film, which is a awesome crossover with other amazing fan films of the past decade. So please check that out. It's awesome. It will be awesome. That's had a Indiegogo. We raised all the funds plus a bit extra. Although given how much they take out, we did hit all the funds. And yeah, it'll be coming out. It's got a lot to do. Obviously, got the backgrounds to finish off and such. But it'll be very fun. Yes. These effects are equal to many of the films. Well, thank you. Ugh, I'm out. This will be a 5-hour long stream. No, Stuart. No. I just need I need like $6 more and I can go based on the people. Will Trekyards cover the Sojourn Space Docks film? Maybe. Maybe. Not sure. Maybe. I know that Eric Henry helped a lot. 196 people still. Thank you so much. Here, $5 more I can go. But seriously, ask me any question on the Discovery episode or not. The chat seemed to slow down a bit. You can keep talking about the Enterprise Discovery episode if you want. Might as well pause that for a minute and bring it back into the Discovery for a second or more. Where is it? No. Yes. I'll have that on, I guess, multiple play speed. Because it was about the Discovery episode, so, you know. 5 more I can go, guys. 5 more and I can go. Yeah, I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was fun. Some problems, but overall enjoyable. They're doing brighter CGI and more interesting set design. I think they've got more interesting team. Is that a Katinga or a D7? Well, it's technically a D7, but they obviously looks more like a Katinga because a D7 is a low detail Katinga. Not really, but that's the point of the Katinga, is the fact that we're able to have a cool new, same design but different. You're still awake. Jill, $5, thank you. Hey, thank you. I can go now. Trekyards merch. Are you going to make a Trekyards Design Bureau t-shirt? Maybe. That's all Stuart. He handles the merch, which is awesome because I handle the editing. Brian, Commander, I hope you get the cash. I'm out of here to go watch your show. Hey, Brian, please do comment on the Trekyards link for Temporal Anomaly and let me know what you think. I would like everyone to watch Temporal Anomaly and let us know what you think. But we're going to do a separate stream, and hopefully you guys will all tune in. Hopefully like 300 of you will be interested, because it's, a lot of time, effort, energy went into the Temporal Anomaly project over almost 6 years. So much so that, I'd love everyone to watch it if possible. It's as prime Trek canon feel as you could ever really hope for. It really is. It really is. And if you want to see references to all the different eras, that's exactly what it is. If you want to see references to, if you're a Trek fan, you're going to enjoy the Trek value. So please do have a watch. It was a lot of fun to make. Convergence is going to be not necessarily even cooler, but cooler in a different way. But I did get the other $5, so it's kind of like if there's any more questions, and then I can do something else, because I have other things I should probably be doing tonight. Save some surprises for the chat on Temporary. Sorry, I'm being quite quick, but yes, will do. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. I guess I'll wait for the pitch to scroll through, because I'm running on triple speed. So Lord Balvok is a TOS Klingon? No, he's a Klingon. He's like Aaron Darvin. That's what he's meant to be. I have no mates albino Klingon baby doll. Yes, we all hope that. But no, thanks guys for tuning in. This was a fun stream. Couple of hours. I am going to get all the fan film work I have to do, but I'm doing a presentation at my own university on Monday, so I have to do some prep for that on Trekyards. Actually, I was asked to do a whole presentation on Trekyards, and then I'm doing a Stargate thing next week. That'll be fun. Should probably tidy up my room at some point, my office, and there we go. That is about the end of the episode. With oh no, I need to edit bloody tomorrow's episode, don't I? It's 23 past tomorrow, but I guess I should probably make tomorrow's episode, shouldn't I? God darn it! But there we go. That's all of the pictures. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And I guess until next time, I am Commander Coggins, and he was Captain Foley. And we will see you very soon. Bye, everyone. Thanks so much. Bye.